20 involved felony charges and 9 misdemeanor charges. Authorities also seized several different drugs such as ecstasy and marijuana. A Leeds man was arrested by the Shelby County Sheriff's Department and charged with first-degree sexual abuse. 66-year-old Carl Price was offering math tutoring classes on social media. He's now facing multiple charges involving the sexual abuse of a minor who was a sibling to one of the students he was tutoring. Price has been actively tutoring in the Leeds community and surrounding area for the past 25 years. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
Hi there, I'm Kim Williams with Alabama Home Mortgage.
And I'm Madeline Cannon. It's true, rates aren't as low as they have been for the past couple of years, but there are still many homeowners that could benefit from refinancing their current mortgage. There are a lot of things in life that are out of our control, but your mortgage rate is not one of them. If you currently have an adjustable rate mortgage, then you owe it to yourself to give us a call.
Adjustable rate mortgages make sense for some people in stable markets, but in this wild, ever-changing rate environment, it only makes sense to secure a fixed interest rate. A fixed interest rate will give you the peace of mind that your rate is locked. Your rate will not be subject to change with the political and economic tides.
At Alabama Home Mortgage, you can personalize your term. We offer 8-year to 30-year mortgages and everything in between. Grab your mortgage statement and give us a call.
Call Alabama Home Mortgage, the #1 mortgage lender in Alabama, today at 567-4223, or visit us online at myalabamahomemortgage.com. That's Alabama Home Mortgage, because, folks, there is a difference in mortgage companies. NMLS 1586-36A, Equal Housing Lender.
Men, you are under siege. From the minute you hit adulthood, stress, bad sleep, junk food, screens, pressure, it all chips away at your testosterone, your energy, and yeah, your confidence. But no one tells you that. And no one tells you the benefit of screening early when you're younger. Research has found that maintaining optimal hormone levels prevents severe men's health issues later in life. At Montgomery Men's Health, we fight for you. The tired dad, the high performers running on fumes, the gym grinders, the man whom online pills have failed. This is for every man, young and old. Forget pills from apps or emails. You need a real medical provider, a clinic that'll fight like hell to get you back in the saddle. Guys, the future is local. Real clinics, real specialists, real answers. Testosterone results in minutes, not days. Montgomery Men's Health's friendly staff is on standby, ready to tackle your ED, your low T, and enhance your life. Call right now, 334-440-3663, or go to MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com. Montgomery Men's Health, making it happen.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome into the program. Beautiful day for now out of Montgomery, Alabama. You never know when it comes to this time of year here in Alabama when the sky's going to open up. That's why you need to always be listening to that Rich Thomas weather app. Checking it out at least, or waiting for his report. I'm your host, Joey Clark. Eddie Bader back in the studio. How you doing?
Pretty good, man. Glad to be back.
You've been busy. You're still
Very
busy.
Yeah. I can't stay the whole show today, but I wanted to come hang out with you as long as I could.
Well, I mean, it's not like there's any news going on, right?
Jeez. I honestly, yesterday afternoon, because I was showing in and out of the car and all that, so I was able to turn it off. But at the end of the day, it took me so long to catch up, process what was going on.
Oh, I know. It was one thing after the other. So let's begin with probably one of the most dramatic examples of ending a war. Now, I will say it's not that crazy. If you look at history, like you find these old like tablets that have some of the oldest writing known to man, that at least we've discovered so far. Often it's some like triumphant leader, so-and-so the great, who defeated this, and this, has proclaimed this, and this on this date, and this is what happened.
Right.
So be it for the end of time.
Right.
So last night, Donald Trump puts this out. And this is after I'm sitting here wondering, okay, we strike over the weekend, which, by the way, we got talking to, retired colonel, Air Force colonel yesterday, and it was confirmed by a New York Post report that the B-2 has its own bathroom and microwave and kitchen stuff.
Oh, yeah. Got
so
bunk.
Can you imagine what it's like going and dropping a huge GBU-57 bunker buster, and then on the way back, you get to eat some fresh pizza rolls or a Hot Pocket and then take a victory dump?
Yep.
It's a good day.
It's a great day.
While your buddy keeps the plane in there.
All right. I'm going to go catch a nap.
Yeah. It's a good day. So, but I'm wondering since that moment, okay, how's Iran going to respond?
Yeah.
Because this really could be awful.
Well,
if they respond in a big way. They do respond live on air. Troy and I are watching this.
Right.
And he's been to that base over there, and it's nothing. And then Trump comes out and says, thank you for pre-warning us and all this stuff. And now we can head towards peace. And then Trump comes out with this on True Social. I just want to read it again. I got to read it to my grandfather. He hadn't heard it yet. It's just classic Trump.
All right.
Congratulations to everyone, in all caps. It has been fully agreed by and between Israel and Iran that there will be a complete and total ceasefire in approximately 6 hours from now, when Israel and Iran would have wound down and completed their progress final missions. For 12 hours, at which point the war will be considered ended. Officially, Iran will start the ceasefire, and upon the 12th hour, Israel will start the ceasefire upon the 24th hour. An official end to the 12-day war will be saluted by the world. During each ceasefire, the other side will remain peaceful and respectful. Peaceful and respectful are in all caps.
Oh, okay.
On the assumption that everything works as it should, which it will, I would like to congratulate both countries, Israel and Iran, on having the stamina, courage, and intelligence to end what should be called the 12-day war, in all caps again. This is a war that could have gone on for years and destroyed the entire Middle East, but it didn't and never will. God bless Israel. God bless Iran. God bless the Middle East. God bless the United States of America, and God bless the world. Signed, Donald J. Trump, President of the United States. And then right after that happens, right as it comes out, J.D. Vance, though, is on a special report with Mr. Brett Baer, the man with no neck. Apparently does a pretty good Trump impersonation himself. So you can get in real time. I'm just doing the timeline here, like how it was slowly happening. This is J.D. Vance on Brett Baer's show. And Baer, literally, as they're about to go on air, Trump puts this out on True Social. So J.D. Vance has to react in real time. By the way, J.D. Vance, he's been going on the liberal Blue Sky, the liberal version of it.
Yes.
And he said something like, they were trying to get me to do this, and I told him, no way, Jose. And he's just trolling like crazy. But here's J.D. Vance reacting in real time to Trump putting this out there.
You left the White House, were you thinking this was all gelling here?
When I left the White House, I thought that we might be able to get it across the finish line before this broadcast, and it looks like the president has been able to do that. I mean, look, he's been working the phones constantly, frankly, before the 12-day war started, but certainly over the past 12 days, the president's been extremely clear about America's national objective here. It is to create a world where Iran cannot build a nuclear weapon. We, of course, destroyed the nuclear program that they had, and the president told the entire team, we're going to work to make sure that they don't try to rebuild that nuclear capability in the future. And look, this is a great thing. For Israel, think about this. They've accomplished an important military objective. They've helped us destroy the Iranian nuclear program. They've also destroyed the conventional missile capability of Iran that threatened the country of Israel. For the Iranians, I think this is a new opportunity to actually pursue the path of peace. As I said yesterday, what the Iranians have showed through their support of terror networks, through their now failed effort to build a nuclear weapon, is that they're just not very good at war. And I think the president really hit the reset button and said, look, let's actually produce long-term peace for the region. That's always been his goal. I actually think when we look back, we will say the 12-day war was an important reset moment for the entire region.
It already had it branded in the branding in mind, the 12-day war. And, last week I was asking, what's the name of this war going to be called?
Depends on when it ends.
And it looks like for now, It's a picnic, though. You could go, oh, it's a picnic. No, 28 Israeli citizens dead, 3,000 plus wounded. Who knows the amount of Iranians wounded and killed?
Oh, yeah.
Iran kills 5 Israeli citizens last night. Israel kills 1 last nuclear scientist right before the deadline. And it looks like Israel and Iran are like, no, you just violated the ceasefire. No, you just violated the ceasefire.
Daddy had to get involved.
And you're right. Trump came out.
Yep.
Before that, Trump put out that China can now continue to purchase oil from Iran. It was my great honor to make this happen. Yeah, just...
I'm sorry, but I really love it when he does
hilarious. He comes out, and before we get to the real doozy of Daddy laying down like the law, after this agreement, because it really did for a moment. It's like the Israelis are going to strike here. They're going to, and it's like this last second. Like, come on, guys. Apparently, Trump holds a very heated call with Bibi Netanyahu.
He heard something slip, or you heard something slip on the television last night. It was pretty heated.
Well, here's this morning. This is, let's listen in. This is just a first taste of how heated he is on CNN, to CNN's cameras.
You're gutless losers. I say that to CNN because I watch it. I have no choice. I got to watch that garbage. It's all garbage. It's all fake news. But I think CNN is a gutless group of people. And the people that run it, nobody even knows it's been sold so many times. But the people that run it ought to be ashamed. You're gutless losers.
Gutless losers.
You're just gutless losers. But then he drops the big bomb because, you know, people are worrying. He announces this the end of the 12-day war. They've already got the branding worked out. Like, he helped put this together last second. And he's on his way, I think, to a NATO summit. Yeah. And they asked, hey, what are you going to say to Zelensky? He's going to go, I'm going to ask him, how you doing? Like, he's in a tough spot.
Got my $20?
So this was the last thing, as Trump's doing this walk and talk to Marine One, that he has to say. And I'm going to try to play this and mute the keyword here.
All right, good luck.
But let's listen in together. Israel says Iran violated them.
Yeah, I do. They violated it, but Israel violated it too. Israel, as soon as we made the deal, they came out and they dropped a load of bombs, the likes of which I've never seen before. The biggest load that we've seen. I'm not happy with Israel. You know, when I say, okay, now you have 12 hours, you don't go out in the first hour and just drop everything you have on them. So I'm not happy with them. I'm not happy with Iran either. But I'm really unhappy if Israel's going out this morning because the one rocket that didn't land, that was shot, perhaps by mistake, that didn't land. I'm not happy about that. You know what? We basically have 2 countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that?
They don't know what the F they're doing.
And he's right. And as you see, and we've talked about before, as much as people want peace, there are so many people that don't. And will do this kind of thing on the regular.
Oh, yeah. The Warhawks, Lindsey Graham, Mark Levin,
You know, Lindsey Graham was skipping around all weekend.
Yeah. No, and by the way, I appreciate both of our senators, but in particular, Senator Brett, because I have my worries. She didn't go full Lindsey Graham. Right. Thank you for not going full Lindsey. I know Lindsey's a friend. Just don't go full Lindsey.
I'm surprised Lindsey Graham didn't ride on the plane.
On the B2?
Yeah, just so let me push the button.
Oh, my blood pressure's a little much. I drink too much.
I'll be in the nap if you need me. I'll be back here in the second.
You know, I can handle about 5,000 feet, but 20,000 feet, I get that.
Get that AFib?
I get that arrhythmia. I think it's just me being excited.
Yep.
You boys got any cold water? Because I don't want to, offset the weight in the plane.
He loves a man in uniform.
So that's amazing. And it looks like since Trump said that, nothing's happened.
Again, sometimes you need the rough language.
And Iran's going to have some victory parade or whatever. Like, look at how strong we are. It's like, whatever.
I mean, is that the worst? At least this time, I'd rather have hit them with the bombs than hit them with the billions of dollars like we've done before.
No, I think this is a pretty good outcome considering how bad it could have been.
Yeah.
And I love that in that statement declaring the end of the 12-day war, he lays out this could have destroyed the region and lasted for years. Because again, folks, this wouldn't have just been Israel and Iran.
No.
This was all these other nations.
Everybody was looking at it. Even Soviets were looking at it.
Yeah. This was Kuwait. This was Qatar. This was Bahrain. This was Saudi could get roped into it.
Yep.
All these places. I love, by the way, that after they shoot some missiles at the U.S. Air Base in Qatar, the Iranians are like, we want to be best buds with you again, Qatar, and have a good, friendly relationship.
Have you never, and you probably have, but you've been in a fight before. Fight's over, and you become friends.
Sure.
But sometimes you whoop that guy's butt so bad, you kind of got to let him have a free leg. And you know it's not really going to hurt.
Right.
Take it.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of what happened.
Right. You trade shots, and you're like, okay.
I'm mad at Joey, but I think I want to punch Eddie. You don't mind? I'm just going to punch Eddie one time.
Yeah, he's all right. It's going to be okay. Yeah, apparently Netanyahu puts a big glossy spin on the phone call with Trump.
Oh,
but Trump very clearly told him,
"Yeah,
stop it. You stop it right now. Or I'm going to come whoop you."
He just said, "Daddy gave me a little pep talk." That's all.
Also, Trump changed his mind, says he's now opposed to regime change in Iran. It will bring chaos.
I agree with that.
There you go. So everybody's on their toes. And, you know, I said to Jeff Poor last week, as I'm trying to think this through, you know, I was in the camp of like, don't do it, man, thinking we would get deeply involved in these sorts of things. But I was also saying, if you look at this coalition Trump built in his victory in 2024, maybe he knows how to surf that coalition even in rocky waters when people are sniping one another. Tucker and Ted Cruz are going back and forth. Mark Levin's losing his mind. We have to go.
Yeah, Warhawks.
Damn boomers.
Warhawks, man.
Boomer cons, man.
But I was like you in the beginning. I was kind of hoping we weren't going to go that route.
Yeah.
But I think a big part of that is because we haven't seen peace through strength shown in a long time.
Yeah.
And I got to be honest, when it first happened, I was like, crap, here we go. But after looking back, probably a day or so more, I was like, that's right. This is peace through strength. This is how this works. This is how I was brought up.
And then I love how he just carries on like it's another day.
Yeah.
For instance, like in the middle of doing all this stuff, like, and about to go to NATO and try to squash this whole Ukraine-Russia thing and yada, yada, yada. Trump has time to put out this very long another truth.
Oh.
By the way, the first one ending the 12-day war to begin a missive from the President of the United States that starts with all caps, congratulations to everyone.
Everyone won. Yeah.
But this one might top it. Here's the first two words of this. Stupid AOC.
I like it already.
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, one of the dumbest people in Congress, dumbest is in quotations for some reason, is now calling for my impeachment, despite the fact that the crooked and corrupt Democrats have already done that twice before. The reason for her rantings is all of the victories in the USA has had under the Trump administration. The Democrats aren't used to winning. And she can't stand the concept of our country being successful again. When we examine her test scores, we will find out that she is not qualified for office, but nevertheless far more qualified than Crockett. So he's bringing in Jasmine Crockett, who is a seriously low IQ individual, or Ilhan Omar, who does nothing but complain about our country. Yet the failed country that she comes from doesn't have a government, is drenched in crime and poverty, and is rated one of the worst in the world, if it's even rated at all. How dare the mouse tell us how to run the United States of America? We're just now coming back from that radical left experiment with Sleepy Joe, Kamala, and the auto pen in charge. What a disaster it was. AOC should be AOC should be forced to take the cognitive test that I just completed at Walter Reed Medical Center as part of my physical. As the doctor in charge said, President Trump aced it, meaning I got every answer right. Instead of her constant complaining, Alexandria should go back home to Queens, where I was also brought up, and straighten out her filthy, disgusting, crime-ridden streets in the district she quote-unquote represents, and which she never goes to anymore. She better start worrying about her own primary before she thinks about beating our great Palestinian senator, crying Chuck Schumer, whose career is definitely on very thin ice. She and her Democrat friends have just hit the lowest poll numbers in congressional history. So go ahead and try impeaching me again. Make my day. So everybody, except for the folks who are like, war. We love war. But most folks, like kind of in the middle, like,
Yeah.
well, let's see what goes happen.
Oh, yeah.
And then you had the panicans, like, and the libertarian types who are very, like, I don't know. And I admit I'm a bit of a worrywart about this stuff. I think it's better to be that than like gung ho about it.
Because and I thought about it too. I was
Yeah.
a little bit, because I haven't seen that in how many years?
Right. But how's your niece, by the way? You've been able to communicate with them?
Yeah, it's all good.
Okay.
Yeah, she's a pain in the butt, but it's all good.
They're all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And people are showing scenes from both Iran and Israel where people are still going about life.
They are. And I will say, that sounds crazy, but I remember when we lived in Turkey, you literally got a bulletin every other day. Keep a low profile. They're trying to do this.
Yeah.
They're trying to do that. And after a while, it did become noise. I mean, you kind of kept your head on a swivel, but you had to live your life. You had to.
But think about this. We're all worried that this could spill out into some other war, break Trump's coalition. Are there sleeper cells here in the United States from the Iranians because of the open border and all this
I
stuff?
saw a lot of videos about
11
that.
Iranians just arrested, by the way, here in the United States.
They turned themselves in after watching all these videos I saw?
I don't know. But, a lot of worry and woe, and like Fox News putting on this huge propaganda show of like, yes, blood. This is why I look so young. You don't look that young, Sean Hannity.
Fresh blood.
Blood. So all that's going on. You see the strike over the weekend. You're like, oh, crap, what's going to be the next thing? And the next thing, you're sitting here wondering, waiting. And then Trump ends this whole 2-week period. Or brother against brother. Man, that violence at Ted Cruz and Tucker Carlson against one another. Woo!
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was quite something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it needed to be let out, especially on Teddy Boy. He's a little too cute by it. A little slick.
elite.
Now, there were moments where I was just like, Tucker, grow up.
Oh, yeah. But there's some elitist moments in there where I'm glad I saw.
Are you not mad that they spy on us?
Yeah.
Are you not mad? It's like,
what
are you
about
a
his
child?
lobby? He didn't want to say that the lobby that he gets money from is lobbying for
So
foreign
it's
government.
all this just discord going on.
Yeah.
These rocky waters, and Trump just surfs over the top of this coalition that seems to be breaking ships apart. And he drops an F-bomb in the 12-day war between Israel and Iran, and then quotes Dirty Harry to the Democrats. Are you not entertained?
I feel better today than I did on Friday.
Yeah, me
How
too.
about that?
Me too.
I feel more confident, more everything today than Friday. It's Friday I was like,
And I
come on,
love that all the
man.
networks are covering this live. And he's like, we had two countries know what the F they're doing.
Yeah.
And the Sky News goes, oh, we'd like to apologize for the language used by the president there.
I know it's not popular on TV, but you know as well as I do, a lot of people talk that way, Joey.
Yeah. It's just how people talk, man.
Right.
I think there's a time and place to
Especially
a
when
degree.
you're that frustrated, and obviously he was at that moment.
Oh, yeah. Can you imagine what some of these behind-the-scene calls are like with this guy?
I kind of want to be a fly on the wall, to be honest. I can learn a little bit from that.
So anyway, that's it seems like things are evening out now. Wonder what the next crisis might very well be.
I don't know, but
Who knows?
here's the thing I was most worried about. I'll be very honest. I was very selfish.
Yeah.
We're getting ready to take a vacation. We're fixing to do some flying,
Yeah,
go to another country.
You're worried.
I didn't need this right now. I didn't buy the insurance.
Okay, you are Gen Xer, but you're kind of turning into a boomer. It's like, I don't want this war to break out. I got a vacation in Jamaica.
It wasn't just me. I saw others concerned too. Hey, could you guys put this off for, a week or so ago? Come on.
Man, I can't believe Israel and Iran are fighting. I was going to go there and see
Enjoy the beach.
the archaeological
Right.
dig. Right. I was going to eat some hummus.
I mean, it's vacation season.
Right.
It's not war season. Come on.
Well, you're not the only one thinking selfishly. This young lady who's wearing some
Oh, good Lord.
rainbow lapel or whatever, she works at Amazon. This is shot
Shocker.
from Amazon. Listen to this.
I just want to know how I'm supposed to do my job when we bombed Iran and we're just supposed to go around about. We're just supposed to get these boxes out without being worried.
Yes.
I just need somebody to explain to me how I'm supposed to not crash out.
Okay, you little weirdo.
You know that saying that you have, if you follow a dumb kid home,
You find some dumb parents.
in this case here,
Right.
Joey, I'm going to go with you 100% on that one.
That's what you get for working at Amazon.
Hey, Amazon pays good, but
I don't care if the nukes are in the air. You're getting those boxes out.
that's it. Dude, I remember Hyundai. Literally, you'd hear tornado sirens and people would see the weather. Nothing to see out here. Keep walking.
Why do they sound German?
Well, it's the drive. That's how they motivate you.
Okay. Well, and then again, I appreciate that Senator Brent didn't go full Lindsey Graham.
Yeah.
But she did immediately hop on Sean Hannity's show after Trump announced the end of the 12-day war. And she is already pushing something about a Nobel Peace Prize.
President Trump is going to win the Nobel Peace Prize, no doubt. You look at what he's done with the Congo and Rwanda. You look at where he is with Pakistan and India and what he's done there. And then you look at this. What everyone talked about, but no one thought was possible. He has brought peace to a region that needed stability. He has shown what America First policy actually is. He's made sure that he's preserving American lives at every single turn. Look, President Trump understands what we need. We need a president who is unafraid to act and that stands firmly with the American citizens. That's what we saw today. And look, Democrats don't know what to say. I mean, their silence has never been louder, if you know what I mean. And I think it's because President Trump just keeps winning.
Yeah.
No, I don't think he's ever going to get the Nobel Peace Prize because...
What, in Pakistan, somebody nominated him the other day?
Yeah, and some congressman just nominated him today.
How many more we got to have?
I mean, he could literally reunite the entire, like, Abrahamic, like, religions of the world.
Yeah.
And they'd still be like, no, he's up to something. He's a fascist.
Well, the ironic part would be he dropped how many bombs? And he's...
Well, and it is remarkable, by the way, how small the Democrats do look.
Got nothing, man.
It's kind of crazy.
It is.
I'm like, where are the adults?
Well, was it Bill Maher said over the weekend,
Yeah.
I was never really a Democrat? Huh?
Yeah. Well, and then you have, of all this winning, you'll appreciate this because you grew up there too, or you spent a lot of time there. Over the weekend, in the middle of all this winning, Lisa Murkowski's like, I think I might become an independent and caucus with the Democrats. It's like, you old fart.
Dude, she's just...
I want to say something worse,
yeah,
but I won't.
There's
a time and a place.
Yeah. But...
just stuff like that where I'm like, ooh.
With
man.
President Trump being president now, Alaska really runs on the oil. There's no doubt. And
Sure.
this is cranking things up.
Sure. So
And-
she better keep her mouth
Yes.
shut? Yeah. I
Yes.
agree. I generally agree. But, you know, Katie Britt wasn't done.
Oh?
She laid out how we got to keep pushing forward with the Abraham Accords. I tend to agree with
For
it.
the last 4 years, obviously, and emboldened Iran. We saw Joe Biden kind of step back from sanctions. I want to make sure in this that not only do we cut off that money that they've been using to fund terrorism all across the region, but I want to make sure that they recognize Israel. Look, President Trump did remarkable things in the first term. I mean, when he brought together the Abraham Accords, he set the foundation for peace and success for this region for generations to come. I want to make sure we build off of that. Look, you can't ask the people of Israel to raise their children in bunkers. You can't ask them to live every day not knowing if missiles are going to come abroad or overhead. We've got to have some stability, and the Iranians have to be able to say, look, we recognize Israel. We want to be able to see that, and ultimately, hopefully that's where we get to. The death to Israel and death to America. I mean, if we just rewind just a year ago, right? Just a year ago, as they are swearing in their new president, chants of death to America, Sean, were in the background. That's what the people were saying. So
That was
we've got
Friday.
to have a total shift in posture about what we expect from them in the Middle East if we want to make sure that we're actually bringing the region together and creating stability and peace for the long term. So I have no doubt, though,
Yeah,
that
that's
President
right.
Trump will achieve that. People know when he speaks, you better listen. They have learned that lesson the hard way. And I know that he will make sure that Israel is in a strong place, that the Jewish people have confidence and have the ability to live and thrive, and that Iran makes good on whatever promises that he has gotten from them in order to create this
Mark
peace deal.
Wayne-
So I have no doubt that President Trump will make this happen, and anyone who underestimates him hasn't been watching him.
All right.
That's certainly a take on
Well,
this
kind of
weekend's event.
another thing with Trump was we knew that somebody was going to try him. And we knew that he was waiting for somebody to try him. So it kind of did him a favor.
Oh, it just feels good that it didn't, like, this sense of dread. Like, it seemed heavy.
It did. Oh, dude, I know.
Very heavy.
Over the weekend, I know.
Like, what's going to happen next?
What's going to happen? But
What are we going to get drawn into?
But I did see it was hysterical. The amount of videos that I saw over the weekend of people saying about the sleeper cell, especially folks from Florida.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
They were looking forward to some sleeper cell action. And
I think Trump does have this mentality that I very much share. It's like, why y'all got to be killing each other and bombing each other and all this stuff?
Because they won't listen.
Why can't you just be normal people and trade and enjoy your freaking lives? And actually, I think that's the message Saudi Arabia is running with, and a lot of these other Gulf states with monarchs who are very young, younger than me, who have the power to see through change. And it's like, it's slowly happening. Obviously, all these nations will always have interest.
Yeah.
But like, you don't have to be killing each other, you morons.
Well, a lot of them come in fighting the wars from the past anyway.
Right.
And like you said, people of your generation kind of got a different mindset than even my generation.
And you don't have to love Israel, but you're like, they've won.
Right. You don't have to eliminate them or attempt to eliminate them off the face of the planet every time.
Right. They keep winning these wars. And it is just objectively, they whooped you in the initial opening of this 12-day war.
Yeah.
How much they've infiltrated your entire government with Mossad, it's kind of crazy.
Scary.
Yes. So it's like, why? Stop it. Now, this could be based on just hardened religious beliefs that they don't want to give up. But what I find interesting is, as hardened as a religious belief can be, and people will be martyrs for the cause, I think most folks, when the bombs start dropping, and then they see also like the alternative, like, wait, we could be like Saudi?
Yeah.
Where they got WWE events and like all this entertainment and great food and music. And
that was Iran of 1979, before 1979.
Like, Dubai's got CrossFit events? Yeah. What in the world? Like, why are we doing this? And maybe we'll get there. But that to me is what makes no damn sense. It's like, you don't have to keep changing the borders on the map. You don't have to keep killing each other. You don't have to like each other even really either.
Yeah.
Just stop it with the killing. Stop it with the threats. And get busy making things life great for your own people.
Giving people too much credit.
Oh, I know.
Man, you know.
Oh, I know. It's somewhat a naive, but it's also a very American, very common sense thing. Like, be pragmatic about it. How do you think the United States of America has gotten over all its crazy divisions and stuff over all the years, whether religious or racial or whatever?
We preach, leave me alone, let me do my thing. Right. What's the government in the United States do?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I think there are some folks that get support and get rich off of sowing that division.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Right. You and I are not there.
Or they're still on the old fight that's like, all right, great.
Never say die.
Yeah. Anyway. Have you heard how bad the Democrats are? It's like, okay, yes, I could do that all day, but like, what are you going to do for us?
What do you got?
So are we going to go back to like since the 12-day war's over and now talk about how J.D. Vance called Alex Padilla, the senator from California, Jose?
Jose? No way, Jose.
We got to hit this break. First, this part of the program brought to you by Bo Goodson, the Goodson Group. And there at the Goodson Group, Bo and his team are ready to help you, whether you're looking to buy or sell here in the Montgomery and surrounding areas. And of course, talking about buying and selling that home, that property of yours. They also have management services available should you want to rent out your home. Very great service, and kind of be a pain in the butt to manage a rental property yourself, especially if you don't have experience. Why not have the Goodson Group do it for you for a reasonable fee? And then the crown jewel there is the Bo Goodson Real Estate School, one of the most highly acclaimed and accredited programs here in the great state of Alabama. You can use this course to study up to become a licensed real estate agent or just a more knowledgeable private player. Maybe you want to learn how to manage property, for instance. So all it takes is just checking them out. Learn more. Go to thegoodsongroup.com or give them a call direct, 551-0225. That's 551-0225. Bo Goodson and the Goodson Group, great sponsor here of the program.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
This is David Ernest from the Health and Wealth Show. We like to cut up and have fun, maybe poke a little fun at some politicians, but we don't take ourselves too seriously. One thing we do take seriously is your personal finances and your plans for retirement. You can tell by listening, we're a little different. Yeah, we like to have a good time on the radio, but we're dead serious about your financial future and helping you achieve your goals. At Ernest Financial, we're committed to giving you the attention you need. We don't treat you like a number. You're way more important to us. At Ernest Financial, it's about helping you today and preparing you for tomorrow. People call us who are on the verge of retirement, and they know they need a plan for the future. No matter where you are in life, Ernest Financial will help guide your every step towards retirement. Give us a call and let us show you what our individual customer attention can do for your future.
Concerned about your retirement? Call David Ernest toll free at 833-596-7233. That's 833-596-SAFE.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/radio to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio. HIMS.com/RADIO.
Febreze. As a rideshare driver, I love keeping my car smelling fresh and clean. So when I'm driving, I only trust Febreze car vent clips, featuring 3 distinct intensity settings, because it's that little touch that sets me apart. I can turn the intensity down for subtle freshness, or I can turn it up for when I want lots of scent. So whether it's set to low, medium, or high, with Febreze car, I know my car's going to smell amazing. Which keeps my driver rating right where it belongs. Picking up Oscar!
When you switch to Progressive, you could save bundling your home and auto. Then you could put that money towards some of the surprisingly more expensive things in life.
May I help you? I just wanted to request a late checkout, please.
Of course. That's $30 per hour for up to 4 hours.
Huh. Okay, but if you can offer a late checkout, then that probably means no one is staying in that room. So if it's empty, maybe I can just stay a few extra hours.
Oh, aren't you adorable?
Life costs a lot, so bundle and you could save with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Riverside Chevrolet Wetumpka. If it's Chevy, it's Riverside. Best price, best selection. Check them out on the web at riversideusa.net.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. Some new wrinkles in the forecast, including a heat advisory, which begins today and continues at least through Wednesday evening. And that happens with the heat index is 105 or higher. That is certainly the danger range. I've got us in the actual high temperatures in the upper 90s today and tomorrow. Lows tonight in the muggy mid-70s. Although we're generally dry today, some pop-up storms tomorrow, some of which could be strong, possibly severe. Big heat can produce big storms. By late in the week, we'll ease up on the heat just a tad, but not much. And there'll be random storms each day. From the AMS Broadcast Weather Conference in Boise, Rich Thomas for Blue Water Broadcasting.
CB&S Bank has a long history of stability and a legacy of serving our community's needs for generations since we began in 1906. At CB&S Bank, we're here for you. All loans subject to credit approval, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
Live local talk, the River Region's only 24-hour News Talk FM station. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. This part of the program brought to you by Dylan Rings, and their Dylan Rings, Josh and Leslie Ryder, are, well, ready to help you out as a full-service jewelry shop. You still got a few days left on that 50% off on half the store celebrating Leslie's birthday. I think that goes to the 28th, so you got a couple days left. But I'm looking at their Facebook page. They said they had a client come in who wanted Josh to make his wife a birthday gift that would memorialize his son, who was 27. The dad described his son as a diamond in the rough and wanted a bracelet with raw, uncut diamonds, one for every year of his son's life.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
And that's exactly what Josh made. I'm looking at it now. That is so cool.
That is beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, especially because it has that extra meaning behind it.
Yep.
That's a great idea by that dad. And I'm not surprised Josh was able to pull it off and make it look absolutely stunning. Nice. Folks, go to their Facebook. There's not only a photo, but a video. And with the video, you can see how the light shimmers and shines on these unrefined, let's say, uncut diamonds. And it absolutely, maybe that should make a comeback. Like,
that's really good looking.
Shaped diamonds are great, but like that's very, very cool right there. And this is just some of the custom design work, the made by Josh stuff they can do there. So y'all get by Dylan Rings, 119 Brown Springs Road here in Montgomery, just off Atlanta Highway, sort of the back end entrance to AUM off Atlanta Highway. And be sure to tell Josh and Leslie when you stop by. Well, number one, tell Leslie happy birthday.
Yes, right.
But number two, be able to muster up the courage to say, hey, I heard about y'all on that show with Joey and Eddie. 272-9228 if you want to get in on the conversation. That's 334-272-9228. Let's go to line one, see who this is. You're on there. Who's this?
That's Papa B.
Hey, Papa B.
Hey. So, is this the response that we expected from Iran? At the end of all of this, or is there more going to happen? They're
still waiting on some cyber attack action.
Depends on what they do next. I think bombs and rockets and all that falling and flying that's done, but the next steps are going to be interesting.
Yeah, I feel like they still got something they want to do.
I don't know. They're unrepentant. Let's put it that way.
Yes.
Now, I don't know about the rest of them, but the leadership, Revolutionary Guards or whatever they got left of that mindset, you're never going to get it out of, bud.
Nope.
There's only one way for them, and that's kill them. I hate to say it that way, but you're not going to negotiate with them. You're not going to be able to pacify them. I don't believe. Will you tell me if I'm wrong about that?
That's not a bad guess, but also it could be like, y'all build it, we'll just knock it down again.
Yeah.
So why not be a normal country and actually, make a lot of money, and let's stop it with this killing stuff.
I was listening to a rabbi and an Iranian lady news person. They were discussing this. I can't remember who it was with. But they both made the point that if this is their religion, dude, their religion involves, if they want to get to heaven, they have to kill an infidel. Their level of heaven depends on if they kill an infidel and how many they do. That's really can't. What are you going to do with that?
You make sure the people that believe that aren't in charge, but that's the rub, ain't it? Like, how do you figure out that situation?
That's who is in charge right now. So, but I would love to, sit there and say, in good faith.
Well, it might just be time, though. Like, think about the House of Saud and the Saudi Arabian kingdom.
Yeah.
It just took a new generation coming about. So we're going to stop funding those people that believe that stuff.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a way, but it's not going to be with the people that are quote unquote in charge right now.
Well, and you got to remember the Ayatollah right now is 86. Yeah. So it's it's an old generation still in charge.
Yep.
Well, kind of like what's going on over here.
thought that's where Joey was going.
Seriously, man, Fox News. Like I would go in because it's the one-time live war. Let's see what. I can't do it anymore.
Why, Joey?
I feel like I'm flipping through
You
episodes.
don't get excited? Going,
It's like I'm Rick and Morty flipping through the galaxy. I'm like, what the heck is this? The Constitution of the United States of America. Shut up, Mark Levin.
I know it, right? Oh, Lord have mercy. Oh. Well, anyway, thanks a lot, guys.
Appreciate it,
I'll
Bobby.
be listening on here. All right, bye.
See you, buddy.
It is a shame that Rush Limbaugh ain't around to sort of keep all his babies in line.
Very surprised.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I'm so surprised there wasn't someone there. Just as good.
Man, there's nobody that like you're never going to have another Rush.
I'm not even.
You're
going to
have popular people on talk radio, but I don't think you'll ever have another Rush.
I think they could have, with a little more effort, found somebody to slip in his shoes a little easier.
Maybe.
Yeah. But I think I know in that world there's a lot of jealousy and not a lot of.
They don't make people like that anymore. Like. You know the radio business. Like
that's what I'm saying, the business.
That time period where it went from the jocks doing the thing to where the jocks became real people, whether you're talking Rush or you're talking Howard Stern. That was a unique time.
It really was. It really was.
I mean, the closest thing you have to that now, like a Stern, a Rush, Carson, is all in one is probably Rogan.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But you can't just pick people. It's got to be somewhat organic.
Yeah,
it's like, MTV executives in the late 80s. How do we get another hair band that's popular? And it's like, guys, that's not.
Yeah, it did. It worked pretty good for a while there, brother.
I guess for a second.
I mean,
but they had to get rowdier. You got Guns N' Roses after, you got Bon Jovi and those types. But then you had the grunge movement. Very different.
WWE. What happens when somebody loses? Right. There's a new king.
Yeah, you
right there.
You got to come up and rise up. But again, Stone Cold is not the same phenomenon as Hulk Hogan.
True.
So
but he's got to be butts in the seats, don't he?
It's like everybody like, I'm going to be the next Trump. I'm going to be the next Reagan. It's like, no, you're not.
No, you're not.
No, you're not.
No, you're not.
Anyway, another quick break. We should have some guests from the Montgomery Airport. They've got some contests where you can win a travel voucher.
Excellent.
We're not giving it away, but it's going to be something we'll help them promote.
Super.
Look forward to that. Quick break, and we'll come right back after this.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
For reliable electrical services in Central Alabama, trust the experts at Crosby Electric. Crosby's licensed and insured electricians are ready to tackle any project for your home. From troubleshooting, repairs, to installing new lighting and preventive maintenance. And Crosby understands the need for quality service for small business. Crosby is big enough for the largest job, yet small enough to bring real value. Visit CrosbyElectric.com to schedule your service. Crosby, powering Central Alabama with excellence.
What's your biggest investment? More than likely, it's your home. So treat it that way when you hire a painting contractor. At PBS Painting, there are no gimmicks, no $99 specials. Just quality painting and someone who treats your home with the same respect that you do. At PBS Painting, we have been painting for years and look forward to many more years to come. With PBS Painting, the job gets prepped properly, whether it's cleaning, scraping, or priming. We always use quality products, which is a must for a quality paint job. So if you're looking for a painter that doesn't need upfront money and is on the job at all times, then please give me a call. Scott Bowers and PBS Painting, 294-5122. That's PBS Painting, 294-5122. Look at some of our work on Facebook at PBS Painting Montgomery.
Pizza Perfect is knocking it out of the park in June. This month, get $2 off any medium pizza and $4 off any large. Now, that's what I call a deal. Pizza Perfect is known for their all-you-can-eat buffet that includes pizza as well as spaghetti, breadsticks, salad, dessert, and drink for only $13. The buffet is available Monday through Saturday for lunch, and they're open for dinner on Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday. For a to-go or takeout order, call 244-7721. Pizza Perfect in Eastbrook.
On FM, on your smartphone, and online, the River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Want to do something a little stupid?
Every day.
Why not? Found this old video. This is forgotten slang from the 1990s. Now, I'm a kid, so you might more be... how old were you, say, in 95?
20s, I think.
So this video is like for you, because it's all folks in like the 20s and 30s.
Yeah.
And man, it does scream 90s. Like I have old photos of mom and dad.
I think I got that sweater still.
You got that sweater? That braided sweater?
Yeah.
Oh, well, here, let's learn. Let's do a little throwback to the slang in the 90s.
Here are some other phrases you'll want to know if you want to be sure to sound hip in the 90s. Yo, a greeting.
Yo, Curb, what's up?
Clutch the pearls, said in amazement or disbelief.
Well, you know he's married. Clutch the pearls.
Okay, these people aren't hip at all. Yo, clutch the pearls.
Okay, some of us still use yo, by the way, sadly enough. But the clutching of the pearls, no, not. I've never heard it like that.
Yo is fine, but if you called me up and like, what's up? I'd be like, really?
No, you wouldn't. You go, what's up?
Are you having a stroke right now? Anyway, let's keep going. So we've got yo and clutch the pearls.
Clutch the pearls. That's a new one.
Bucked. In the 80s, it was...
That's with a B, like a buck.
Okay.
Bucked.
Just wasted.
I don't know how many I had, but boy, did I get bucked.
Hey, that kind of sounds like something else. I've never even heard that.
I never heard that one. I got to call BS on that one.
Yeah, it's like you just want to use the word Trump used today, but you want to be kind of clean about it.
Yes, so.
I sure felt it the next morning. That was really the worst thing I'd ever done.
Lord.
When you get bucked
Nerds.
with a B, it's the worst thing I ever did.
I hope you didn't drive home.
Oh, boy.
Way.
MacGyver, as in the TV show where the impossible is often accomplished. I can't believe you got off that speeding ticket. What a MacGyver. Normal. To secretly undermine.
Wait. Who uses MacGyver?
Not in that sense. We MacGyver stuff all the time, but yeah, not in that sense.
Norville. To secretly undermine.
What? I can't believe she stole your job. You've really been Norville.
Never heard of it.
You've really been Norville.
That sounds like something that was on the Rugrats show or something.
Black and Decker, or a real tough assignment. You get the analogy, right?
This job is a real grind. It's just a Black and Decker.
What?
No, never heard that.
That's just a brand name.
Never heard that at all.
Telling you what, Eddie, this job, it's a real Mountain Dew.
I guess I wasn't cool. I thought I was a lot cooler.
Well, I'm trying to help you out, and I'm not trying to Norville you, all right?
Yeah, I've never heard
Some
of
phrases may be around forever.
Well, look, I got to run. Peace.
Bye, Tom.
Okay, I can honestly say I've never told anybody in my life when we were leaving. Peace.
At least you don't throw up the hand sign.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever said it. Maybe a peace out once in a while. I probably was drunk, but no. Hey, Joey, peace.
My favorite still is definitely this one right here.
Bucked. In the 80s, it was just wasted.
I don't know how many I had, but boy, did I get bucked. I sure felt it the next morning. That was really the worst thing I'd ever done. I hope you didn't drive home. No way.
So I guess it's like getting really drunk, like stewed.
I guess.
Yeah.
No. Hammered, wasted. I never used bucked.
Yeah, that must be like something they say up north.
Well, look at those haircuts. Those are some Yankees.
Man, the 90s.
I
think of it fondly, but it does seem like a more innocent time.
Oh,
Not
yeah.
really, but...
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, you look back at the 80s.
Maybe
and
hubris is the word. I don't know. Anyway, this part of the program brought to you by Cole Plumbing. And there at Cole Plumbing, they can help you with any and all of your plumbing needs. It could be you have a clogged drain.
Yeah.
Then you tried all sorts of, your options that you have at your own disposal. Didn't work.
Not working. Still sitting there in the sink.
Yeah, get Cole Plumbing out there.
Yep.
Get them out there like right now. Or it could be you got low water pressure. You can't take a shower and actually wash those luxuriant locks of yours. Maybe you flush a toilet, something comes up in the shower. Uh-oh.
That's not good either.
Yeah, that might signal an even bigger problem.
It can.
Like tree root invasion, for instance. Or it could be, you have a big leak. It could be a water leak inside, outside the home. It could be a big gas line leak, which is a major problem.
Oh, that could be an accident waiting to happen there.
Yeah, a deadly one at that. So get Cole Plumbing out there. They understand time is of the essence. And say with these major jobs, they're not going to have to tear out a bunch of drywall, dig up a huge hole in your yard to solve the issue. And maybe you don't really have a problem. You just want to upgrade. You just want nicer things. Maybe a new garbage disposal is in order. Maybe a new accessory for the shower or the bathroom. Could be you want a new taller toilet.
Ooh, easier on the knees.
Mm-hmm. So y'all check them out today. That's Cole Plumbing. You can always go to coleplumbing.com or just call them up at 279-8919. That's 279-8919. And just remember, folks, when you have trouble with your bowl,
call on Cole, Joey.
We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. President Trump earlier today expressed frustration at both Iran and Israel after Iran fired a missile in violation of the ceasefire. Then Israel launched a retaliatory strike, but those planes never did arrive. They did turn back after President Trump's admonition to do so. And President Trump now says that ceasefire is back in effect. As NATO summit convenes at The Hague, more evidence of local suspicious activity. A cyber attack caused some damage. It disrupted rail service. No trains were running between the main airport and the country's capital of Amsterdam. The ability of college athletes to cash in on their collegiate fame has led to fewer players jumping early into the NBA draft, which begins this week. 82 players appeared on the list of early entrants this year, and primarily from American colleges. That is down from 162 who did so last year. This is SRN News.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group. And I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney. And the truth is, I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare, and I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call. I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare, or you'll pay nothing. Attorneys, this was meant to be funny, so please don't sue me, especially my friend Kenneth from Black River Falls, Wisconsin.
Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. 800-613-5454. 800-613-5454. 800-613-5454. The Rich Thomas Weather Network, brought to you by Alabama Wholesale Lumber. Alabama Wholesale Lumber, the best quality building materials in the river region for decades. From common builds to special orders and local delivery. Call Alabama Wholesale Lumber.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. Some new wrinkles in the forecast, including a heat advisory, which begins today and continues at least through Wednesday evening. And that happens with the heat index is 105 or higher. That is certainly the danger range. I've got us in the actual high temperatures in the upper 90s today and tomorrow. Lows tonight in the muggy mid-70s. Although we're generally dry today, some pop-up storms tomorrow, some of which could be strong, possibly severe. Big heat can produce big storms. By late in the week, we'll ease up on the heat just a tad, but not much. And there'll be random storms each day. From the AMS Broadcast Weather Conference in Boise, Rich Thomas for Blue Water Broadcasting.
Budget Floors and More is your low-price leader for everything you need for flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies. For the best prices on luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, flooring installation supplies, and more, shop Budget Floors and More, Hunter Lane across from Delray to Publix.
From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, here's today's top stories. Montgomery Mayor Stephen Reed has added personal outreach via text as a new method to communicate with the public. You may have suspected it was spam, but the text you received from Reed was an official communication from the mayor. Reed's text read, "What changes do you want to see in your community?" The new Elevation Hotel and Convention Center is preparing to open in September. On Thursday, the facility will host a job fair to fill nearly 100 positions. The 8th-floor hotel overlooking downtown is located at 600 Montgomery Street, site of the long-abandoned Hilltop Arms apartments in the Five Points area.
5 Points area.
5 Points area. 5 Points area. 5 Points area. 5 Points area. 5 Points area. 5 Points area. 5 Points area. 5 Points area. 5 Points area. 5 Points area. 5 Points area. 5 Points area. 5 Points area. 5 Points area. 5 Points area. 5 Points area. 5 Points area. 5 Points area. 5 Points area. 5 Points area. 5 Points area. 5 Points area. 5 Points area. 5 Points area. 5 Points area. 5 Points area. 5 Points area. 5 Points area. 5 Points area. 5 Points area. 5 Points area. 5 Points area. 5 Points area. 5 Poin Newsweek has nominated Riverwalk Stadium as one of the best AA ballparks in the country. Riverwalk Stadium has been the home of our Montgomery Biscuits since 2004. You may vote for Riverwalk Stadium as best AA ballpark once per day on Newsweek's website. It's quick, simple, and takes less than a minute to vote. Get it done as voting ends tomorrow on June 25th. From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, I'm Sky Mosley.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
Hey guys, this is Todd Clark with River Region Contracting, your premier roofing contractor in Central Alabama. So remember the name, River Region Contracting, for all your roofing needs. We're not affiliated with any other roofing company in the River Region. We've been in the roofing business since 2005. We don't have to buy our leads, and we don't have to knock on doors when the storms come around. We have thousands of satisfied customers throughout Central Alabama. So call us at 334-356-8635. That's 334-356-8635.
Hey, this is Ray Bowles of Prattville Carpet. And since we've been advertising on Blue Water, our sales have increased dramatically. Blue Water has a large listening audience that is very faithful to their advertisers, and we greatly appreciate that. If you're thinking about advertising for your business, I would highly recommend Blue Water.
Did you know that radio is the #1 reach platform in all of media? It's true. Call us to find out how to put radio's #1 reach to work for your business. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to the program. Eddie's still here. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
I'm all right. I mean, it feels like we could, over the weekend, I could back up to a brick wall and suck out a brick with all this stuff going on in the news. And it's just like, we can now relax.
Just a little bit.
And we have some local stuff to talk about. We have Brittany Jones here with the Montgomery Regional Airport. Hey, how you doing today?
Good. How are you doing? Thank you so much for allowing me to come here.
Yeah, thanks for being on the program. And it's like a new game, but it's a chance for people to win. I believe it's $150 travel voucher there for at the airport.
Nice.
Well, it's actually $1,200.
Wait, $1,200?
Yeah.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. All right. Let's get this thing going.
Let's get into the details. So we launched this campaign this summer called Don't Double Trip, and basically trying to get people not to go to Atlanta Airport or Montgomery or Birmingham Airport. So we're just basically trying to get people to come to our airport, see the convenience, and see how affordable that we are. And number one, that convenience going from the parking lot to your gate. I mean, that's just
about 10 minutes, if that.
Yeah, if that. And then, you're adding in going through TSA on that.
Yeah.
So we're just really trying to hone in on the convenience of what it means
Big
to
time
fly local and talk about what that experience means for those that may not be well connected with Montgomery Regional Airport.
Well, even getting your luggage. I mean, you literally go from the luggage to your car, 5 minutes. I mean, everything's right there.
Yeah, we one-stop shop, and we love that. So this game right here that we launched, it's been going on now for the last 3 weeks, and we will continue for another 3 weeks. But it's basically trying to get people to play with us. If you want to think similar to the McDonald's game that you used to play with Monopoly, you come in and get these stamps, and when you collect your stamps, you put them on your board, and every time you come into the airport, you will get a swag item. So it's just kind of, just another way to tie us in to keep you coming back. And at the end of it, we will enter your map for a $1,200 voucher.
Nice. Wow.
So this is just a summer game that we're playing. And again, getting people the opportunity to know about traveling local and what that means. Because a lot of people talk about, we want this type of air service here. Well, you have to utilize Montgomery Regional Airport and other for us to bring different air services opportunity to the airport.
Right.
And so if somebody wants to participate, someone wants to play the game, how do they do so?
So they can just come to the Montgomery Regional Airport. We have an information desk with banners. You cannot miss it. And then we also have a freestanding board that's pretty much a physical display of our board game, and it's a live stand-up board. So you can see it, you can play along with it, and just go ahead and add up all the stamps to collect your winnings.
Ooh, I like this.
Yes.
Very cool.
Really fun. So,
Well, and I always prefer leaving out of Montgomery.
Absolutely.
And I think more people should take y'all up on that.
Yeah.
It is a great facility in the sense that I don't have to go through the Atlanta airport.
Yeah.
No, you don't want to go through that. Our parking's convenient.
Parking is super convenient.
We are steps from
Very
the
affordable,
terminal
too.
to your gate. Very affordable. And we launched a platform called My Airport, which gives people over 30 destinations that are under $300 that you
Really?
can book round trip deals for.
Wow.
Right now, our latest deal is to New York City, LaGuardia Airport particularly, and that round trip voucher, the airfare is $217.
Oh,
that's amazing.
Yeah. And the dates are right now, July 1st through the 5th. So if
Oh,
you're
wow.
trying to
So
go
you can do a
to
last
New
minute
York,
trip if you want
you're
to.
trying to go last
That's a great
minute,
idea.
217 to New York. You can't beat
That's a heck of a
that,
deal.
you know? And this is the platform that MGM is launching, that we're sponsoring, because we heard the backlash of people saying, oh, MGM Airport is so expensive. Well, no, we are very competitive now. So we encourage people to check our website.
Okay.
Look at those flights that we offer. Like I said, we offer about 30 destinations that can kind of pretty much get you, some round trip deals that are very inexpensive. So we encourage people to go there, look at it, click that yellow tab that says plan my trip, and it'll give you those destinations that you can go to.
I love that.
And the website's flymgm.com.
Flymgm.com, and there's a yellow tab that says plan my trip. Click that yellow tab and it'll give you 30 destinations immediately that are under $300.
That's cool. It's been a while since I've been to New York City.
Yeah.
And,
New York City.
And honestly, I'm in kind of the mood lately of just picking a spot and hopping on there.
And a lot of times, a lot of people don't know really where they want to go until they are inspired by a hot deal. So this is an opportunity for people to, again, get to know who the airport is, get to know our convenience, and just also visit us and see our friendly faces, our staff, our TSA. They're not balking at you. They really are concerned about, what you're bringing through the checkpoint. They want to make sure that you're comfortable, because we know that that is a stressful experience. So they don't create that extra added stress that you get at those other airports, just, barking at you.
Well, plus, literally, you go from the parking lot to the gate pretty quickly. I don't have to catch 3 trains. I don't have to deal with 1,000 people.
Yeah. So we love that
convenience factor is
convenience,
great.
and we want people to really hone in on that convenience, and also seeing how far we are from your homes. Most people that live in Montgomery from the airport about 15 to 20 minutes.
15, 20 minutes is it.
Yeah,
that's right.
Oh, it's easy.
Yeah.
So.
And folks, you can learn more about the game at flymgm.com/double tripping. We got to stop it with the double tripping.
Double tripping, yeah. And we have a little video on there that kind of shows what people mostly do, because what are they trying to do? Avoid the cost of, coming to Montgomery, because they're trying to. They saw a cheap deal with Spirit Airlines for $44. And then, but guess what? You didn't factor in your time, that gas, that parking, because Atlanta has increased their parking to $50 a day. So, you're just looking at that bottom line right then, but you got to think about long term. So that's what we're trying to get people to. Hey, remember that you have a local airport and you need to utilize it. And the more you use it, the better that we become.
Now, are we forgetting anything? I don't want to let you go if we...
No. So we want to make sure that people scan their board games to register, because if you don't scan that board game, we won't know if you have registered.
Okay.
And at the end of it, you will bring your board game to the airport. We will give you a card that says, thank you for your participation. We have entered you into the round trip voucher valued at $1,200. And that's it. It's going on for 6 weeks.
Oh, I love this.
We ended at July 9th. All of the board games need to be turned in by July 11th. And we will announce the winner July 14th.
Oh, cool.
Awesome. Yes. So it's very quick. So if you're not participating, come on out to the airport right now, pick up your board game, and then we'll also be at a couple of places this week. So pay attention to our social media. We are at Fly MGM or Montgomery Regional Airport on Facebook, and I Fly MGM Airport on Instagram.
Awesome.
So you can kind of, hear about the icons of the day and go from there. Just make sure you're following us.
Well, I appreciate it, Brittany, and I think this is a great idea to get more folks, well, at least to remind them. You do have a local airport.
Yes.
Exactly right.
Yes, use it, because we hear it all the time in the comments. Get it direct to Denver. Okay, we can get it. However, you got to utilize the existing service that we have. And as soon as we max out those loads, the airlines, they are actually the ones that make that call on our behalf.
Okay.
So we got to use it.
Well, I appreciate it, Brittany.
Yes.
Really
Thank
do.
you so much.
Stop double tripping.
Love it.
I'll stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
This is David Ernest from the Health and Wealth Show. We like to cut up and have fun, maybe poke a little fun at some politicians, but we don't take ourselves too seriously. One thing we do take seriously is your personal finances and your plans for retirement. You can tell by listening, we're a little different. Yeah, we like to have a good time on the radio, but we're dead serious about your financial future and helping you achieve your goals. At Ernest Financial, we're committed to giving you the attention you need. We don't treat you like a number. You're way more important to us. At Ernest Financial, it's about helping you today and preparing you for tomorrow. People call us who are on the verge of retirement, and they know they need a plan for the future. No matter where you are in life, Ernest Financial will help guide your every step towards retirement. Give us a call and let us show you what our individual customer attention can do for your future.
Concerned about your retirement? Call David Ernest toll-free at 833-596-7233. That's 833-596-SAFE.
Hello, everyone. Robbie Pelt with Capital City Roofing. If you think about it, your home is your biggest investment in life. Your roof covers your home, so why jeopardize your biggest investment on a roofer you don't know anything about when you can deal with a reputable roofing company like Capital City Roofing? We have an A+ Better business rating and the best manufacturers and workmanship warranties available. We do all residential and commercial roofing applications that are certified through the manufacturer to ensure you get the best material and workmanship money can buy. We also have your project in our best interest before and after construction has been done. Don't hesitate to call us if you have any roofing issues or questions. We will match any of our competitors' price and give you the same great workmanship warranty. We also give free estimates. Give us a call today and let us show you the difference. 277-3311. That's 277-3311. Or you can check us out on the web at www.capitalcityroofing.com. Capital City Roofing. We capitalize the roofing industry.
Are you tired of the mainstream media's biased reporting? Do you want to stay informed on the news that really matters to you? Look no further than 1819 News. At 1819 News, we bring you the latest in Alabama news, politics, sports, culture, and more. We've assembled a team of journalists with Alabama values dedicated to the truth and the truth alone. Visit us at 1819news.com today. That's 1819news.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. Honest News, Alabama Values.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
When news happens, you'll hear about it first. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. I won't give all the details, but I just discovered off air that Eddie's the reason we have all this Real ID stuff now.
I will say this. On this next trip, I will remember to take my tools out of my backpack with the screwdrivers and the knife and all that. Last time they didn't catch it, and I'm kind of glad they didn't catch it because it probably been a bit of a scene, to say the least.
Oh, yeah.
And with good reason. You're not supposed to carry that stuff.
Yeah, that's putting it mildly. It might have been a scene.
It might have been a scene because I was going somewhere. I didn't need nobody stopping me, holding my trip up, going to the beach.
And you've got a big, you're on a Jamaica.
Yeah. We're doing the whole week in Jamaica. Me, my lovely wife, Susanna, and her mom, Stella, which I can't wait.
I should have just taken the whole week off next week, but
that's the way to do it, man.
Well, I'm doing 3 days. I'm going to Nashville.
I got another friend of mine that's thinking about moving to Nashville.
Yeah.
Yep. With a job.
Nice.
Apparently, there's a lot of work to be done up there.
Yeah, it should be interesting. It'll still be a new city for my brother and his wife, and we're mostly going to be hanging out and playing with Lucy and stuff.
Are you going to do any of the downtown tour, the bar tour?
Maybe.
Just
probably.
I'd like your opinion on
the trip is probably not going to be one of let's go drink and tour the bars by any means.
Might
It
figure
might
that.
be more a daytime thing.
Yeah.
Go eat something, check out downtown.
See that downtown street just to see all the goings on.
Right. We'll figure it out.
One of the things I'm doing, because we have a chef at the house, so you have to go grocery shopping. So I'm going to take my mother-in-law and my wife to the farmers market in Ocho Rios, Jamaica. That's going to be, and I'm going to film it because it's going to be a blast.
But you have a chef?
Yeah. It comes with a cook,
Yeah.
You're on vacation. You don't want to have to cook.
Right, but you still have to go get the groceries.
Yeah, you go get the groceries. Except the first night, they've already got a celebratory meal.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it is. Honestly, the convenience factor of this doesn't get any better.
And you're going to get to see your buddy Marvin?
Yeah. He's picking us
Good
up at the
guy.
airport. I bought him a new drone. We'll get to go play drones one day. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to try to put as many videos out as I can about the place because it's literally one of my favorite places to stay in all of Jamaica. And the price on this house, 4-bedroom house, is like $500 a day. So if you split that up with people, it's a heck of a deal.
Now, we were talking about this a little bit off air. Aaliyah targets hemp shops in statewide raids. Alabama law enforcement agency agents raided several hemp businesses on Monday. According to multiple sources, the raids were targeting hemp stores allegedly selling marijuana.
So they were selling the real deal above the what you're allowed to sell?
It wasn't just hemp flower.
Oh.
It was like the stickiest of the ickiest.
Oh, it was the dirt.
Oh, that's what they're
devil's
claiming.
lettuce.
I haven't seen
Oh.
any proof of that. I
Oh.
was like, let me try it. I'll tell you how it is.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
You hiring?
Man, look at all those crystals, man. Put that under the light, man. Maybe let me look at that. You see the purple hairs in there,
Purple
man?
hairs, dude.
Yeah, man. Wait, is that sour diesel? Canadian sour diesel, man? All right, man.
I couldn't imagine. That wouldn't surprise me, but I couldn't imagine having a legitimate business and then selling weed out of it.
You got mid or good.
Right.
Talking about slang
I
terms.
wonder if they said, you're a cop? Because if you're a cop, you got to tell me you're a cop because that's the law.
No, I got that brick weed today. So just dirt, essentially. All right. No, that's going to be good for
Break
my
me off
health.
a piece of that brick.
Goodness gracious. So, according to Jennifer Boozer, who we've had on the show, she was very much against this recent law the legislature passed and the governor signed.
Yeah.
Governor Abbott, by the way, vetoed their ban in Texas.
I'm glad you said that because I wanted to ask you about that.
Yeah. Good for Governor Abbott.
I'm surprised, but good for him.
But according to Jennifer Boozer, hemp shops in Enterprise, Troy, Clanton, Wetumpka, and Pelham were raided by Aaliyah on Monday. The Alabama legislature passed and Governor Ivey signed into law legislation that, among other things, bans the sale and possession of smokable hemp products starting July 1st. It's not July, though, right?
No. No, if not, I'll be in
What's
Jamaica.
today?
So
June 24th. It's June 24th. All right.
Yeah. Okay.
We're trying to figure out why in the world 8 days before HB 445 goes into effect, after some of us have been in business for 7 years, I was the first one in the state. I've seen it all. Why now, 1 week before we lose, some of us, 80% of our income, they're coming in and doing this? This is Jennifer Boozer talking. They're coming in with a warrant saying they think they're selling weed and they're only taking the flour and their cash.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
They're not worried about the vape or gummies or anything else. They're taking their smokable flour, which they know is our money makers.
Yep.
And they're taking the money.
Hey,
I don't know why or how this will stand up, but Attorney General Steve Marshall seems pretty determined, which he usually is. This is what Boozer told 1890 News in an interview yesterday. Boozer is the owner of Canabama in Mobile, said she was going out of business due to the new law. Most of us will be out of business. I'm losing mine, Boozer said. Anything smokable and vapable is supposed to be banned as of July 1st. We're literally trying with 2 weeks' time, trying to sell what we can because we've got bills and leases to pay, utilities, employees, and all the things. And we're trying to get rid of what we can because none of us is going to break the law. We haven't broken the law this whole time. The ones of us who have never broken the law are the ones who are losing the most. I don't see them raiding a single gas station right now, and gas stations were completely cut out. And we know that the gas stations are where the kids are buying beer, cigarettes, and now hemp products.
Who's got a bigger lobby?
That's the frustrating part, Jennifer Boozer goes on. They kept saying we're creating this law for the bad actors, but sir, bad actors don't follow laws. It's why they're bad actors. So it doesn't matter if you have a shiny new one. They're not going to follow it. We are. Following the law means we lose everything. And we just have to accept that, and that's not okay. Boozer said agents were raiding hemp stores with warrants, searching for marijuana. They're going in and saying, we think you're selling weed with warrants. They'll take all the products and test it, which makes it evidence. If they get it back in a year or two, it's been sitting in an evidence locker and ruined. You know what I mean? The first store they got raided, they took 60 pounds. Do you have any idea how much of an investment that is? It's a lot. A couple $1,000 per pound.
Yep.
Minimum $1,200 to $1,500 per pound. That's if they bought it all in bulk and got a great deal. They just took that much in flour. I have no idea how much money, and they left. They haven't arrested anyone.
How's that not organized crime?
Why would you pick 60 pounds of quote-unquote marijuana out of a business and not take the owner with you?
They didn't want the 60 pounds of weed. They wanted the cash.
They know it won't stand up in court. This is the last week we have to try to get rid of this inventory and salvage some money so we can pay our bills and try to figure out what we're going to do. The ABC board still has not given us any direction whatsoever as to what the bill actually even says. What are the rules? There are so many vague areas of this bill. We have 1,001 questions. Nobody will answer any of them except that they were telling us you'll be good until January 1st. Then 2 weeks ago, Steve Marshall got up and said, we're going to enforce flour July 1st. And then all hell was broken loose. A spokesperson for Attorney General Steve Marshall referred questions about the raids to Aaliyah. An Aaliyah spokesperson said late Monday that the agency would be releasing more details soon.
Don't you love it when you try to hold people accountable and they just laugh in your face? There's no accountability. They got tired of you guys being in business. They said, we told you guys to get out of business. Now we're going to force you out of business and we're taking your money. How is it any different than organized crime? How's it any different than you and I going to do the same damn thing? We're taking your business. You're going to keep here and run it. You're going to pay me protection money.
Because they're popular. Or something like that.
Who's running for election in that group?
I think Steve Marshall's running for the United States Senate. Yeah. Brings him down a peg in my book.
In my book, too. But I think for some of the boomers that we giggle about, it probably boosts them up a little bit.
272-9228. Let's go to line one. You're on the air. Who's this?
Hi, it's Debbie.
Hey, Debbie.
Hey, Debbie.
I just wanted to say I am one of these people that do buy the CBD. It's for my father who has dementia.
Mm-hmm.
And he had been on all kinds of medicines that the doctor had given him with no results that were positive. If anything, made it worse. Attitude, anger issues, anxiety, all that. So we stopped taking everything, or he did on his own before I got to where now he's my, I'm taking care of him. Okay. Well, anyway. The CBD, I started out with Delta 8. It's a powder, goes into his juice, coffee, milk, whatever he's drinking. I give him just a little tiny bit in the morning, and he no longer has the anger issues. He's no longer wanting to, fight with me. He has began to speak. He is actually coherent to a certain degree. He can tell me what's going on, what's wrong with him, if he's hurting. If he's got to go to the restroom, if he's hungry, whatever. Before, he could not do that. And that's the CBD Delta 8, okay? Then I went to the Delta 9 because he wasn't sleeping at night, and he'd be up all night long, off and on. And I went to the Delta 9. He sleeps through the night like a baby. So I have really become dependent on these two little things. They don't make him high. They don't make him loopy. God forbid, he can't hardly walk. I can't have him going, left when he's supposed to be doing the right. He's already doing that. So, but it just really helps tremendously. His ability to speak is the biggest thing for me.
Right.
And that's huge for me. And they're telling me now they have to pull it. They can no longer sell it at the end of the month. It's done. And I'm going, why? Why? Well, it's too strong. Well, just don't give them as much. I just give them like a 1/16 of a teaspoon, and that's plenty for him.
Well,
might need to bump it up for somebody else, but.
Well, you're an
Go
adult.
ahead,
I mean, these are drugs that are sold to adults. So suddenly you can't make decisions for yourself. You ever heard anybody ODing? You ever heard any of these I hear the crazy stories, but I don't see it. I just hear it. And for
Well, I know
so
what
many
it's
people
done
that
for
get,
my dad.
yeah, so many people that get a benefit for this, it's government overreach at its best.
Oh, big time. And it really disturbs me. But I tell you what I believe, and this is just a conspiracy theory. Here we go, okay?
Bring it.
I think it's because the state has finally gotten around to, we're about to open up our dispensaries.
Yep.
They want no competition. And I believe truly that this is what it's all about, because the smokable is the one thing the dispensary will not have.
Yeah.
Ta-da!
Yeah. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I hate that. I appreciate you telling your story, but I hate that is the spot you're in at this point.
Yeah.
I know. I finally found something that really helps my father, and that means the world to me, because I am his sole caregiver. And, now I'm going back to a person that can't even tell me what's going on, that all he can do is babble and drool. Come on. Dang, man. There's a huge difference. I wish they could see it. 1 day, 2 days, 3 days without it, and he's back to babbling. I just don't want to see him go back there. But anyway, somebody really needs to think about this. It's not somebody just wanting to get a buzz, for Pete's sakes. This is something major for some people. It's a life changer. Well, that's my vent, and I appreciate you letting me do that. Okay?
Hey, thank you, Debbie.
Appreciate it, Debbie.
But we'll sell you all the alcohol you want to drink.
Let's go to line 3. You're on there. Who's this?
Hey, this is Sam calling from Pike County.
Hey, Sammy.
And hey, gentlemen, I've been. I was telling Eddie earlier, texting him. I've really been enjoying the show, of course. And this was a terrible surprise, guys. I have a little gastrointestinal some issues, and the stuff keeps my guts. Just on a personal note, it helps keep my guts calm. And anyways, I know the owner of the Troy and Ozark stores, Ms. Abby. We were talking just a few weeks ago. January 1st was the day, and we were discussing legal options and what she was planning on doing, and then what few options there really are, and the panic. And now it's just cut off date. I guess. Oh man, may not be able to find it. Good Lord, I got to go beat the bush and find out what happened. But yeah, this is awful. This is just straight up. It looks bad. The optics looks bad. Feels it is bad. It's just all. I'm frustrated, fellas. I just thought I'd call it sheer frustration. Dang. I gotta go. I gotta go beat the bushes. I'll let you know what I find out. But
okay.
More than likely, it's just exactly what you heard. There was a wreck. Hey, you think I know this will be pursued by those who own the businesses legally. It's going to be in the courts. But I just had this vision of the state police. I wonder if they set the state troopers around. They said Aaliyah, but like they did the bingo.
That's all I can think about, the bingo. Yeah.
Yeah, I love state police. They're the guys. Many a friend that works at very respectable. It just feels like it feels like an abuse of power.
Mm-hmm.
I hope I'm not speaking out of turn, but that's just.
No, that's what it feels like.
What a surprise! Yeah.
Especially just taking people's cash and stuff, and it's not the application of this law. This is a completely the discretion of the Attorney General and Aaliyah.
Yes, sir.
To make these sorts of raids. Well, I appreciate it, Sam. Good luck, man.
Thank y'all for getting the word out. I'll let you know what I find out.
Do that, buddy.
272-9228. That's 334-272-9228. Yeah, it's pretty crazy, but it also seems pretty plain as day. Let's go to the most popular ones and let's essentially destroy their.
Put your thumb on them. Y'all not going out of business fast enough for us.
Yeah.
This will encourage you. Because let's be honest, let's say the business next door got raided. Well, I can't open up tomorrow. I can't do that. I can't risk that, even though I'm a legitimate business.
Might have more people going into the car wash business.
Or the mattress store business.
Yeah. How many damn car wash? That's what we need a moratorium on. Dadgum, man. It's not like
in
I'll
5
use
years
them,
or less.
Dadgum, how many do you need?
In 5 years or less, they're going to be a big stain on this city because they are everywhere.
Like what? There's a few, there's a lot on Atlanta Highway.
Yeah. Well,
a lot.
They've turned the, and nothing against technology, but they've turned it into you can do it on a quarter acre or less. So
Right.
Yeah. And nobody will work at a regular car wash, so it's got to be an automatic car wash. Still can't get employees. That's just a fight for everybody.
Let's go to line one. You're on there. Who's this?
Don't matter. Hey, man, that Debbie lady, if she goes to her doctor, I think the doctor can prescribe Marinol, and it's the same, well, actually it's different than CBD, but it would, for her father's situation. I mean, I understand. I mean, she needs it, and the doctor can prescribe it.
That might work.
Yeah.
They have it available. I mean, she may not know that.
Yeah, I'm reading that now. Yeah, it is available here in Alabama. You're right. You are right.
Yeah. So do that, Debbie. He's got a physician, I'm sure. Talk to the physician about what you've been doing. It's no longer available, and it makes a big difference. I just feel so sorry for her and the situation she was talking about. What her dad's going to go back to without it.
Yeah,
you can get that from your physician, and the pharmacy give it to you, and the insurance cover it, Medicare cover it too.
Good deal.
All right, man. That's all I had, or I wouldn't even call.
Appreciate the advice. Thanks, man. 272-9228. Got to hit another break. First, this part of the program brought to you by Pest Pro Services, and they're Pest Pro. Ashley and that fantastic team are ready to help you out with any and all your pest control needs. I love this new monthly subscription model.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not like, oh, they show up and you're guessing what they're going to charge you. No, it is a regular monthly fee, and also means they get on a regular schedule with you. Starts with basic pest control protection. And then you can add on there annual termite inspections and year-round protection for termites. Then you can add on top of that what we're really going through right now, mosquito season.
Skeeters, man. Skeeters.
But you haven't been dealing with them.
Well, not at Airbnb. We don't have them at all, thankfully, because they do. They come up on the regular. In fact, I think they'll probably come up. My schedule's right. They'll come up next week. They'll give me a call first, and then they come up and spray. And again, we've got long-term guests there now, and that's one of their favorite things is they said, I can sit outside. Right. I don't have no mosquitoes. I can look at the lake. I don't get eat up by mosquitoes.
Yeah, because the lake in particular, it's beautiful. Like it's a little cooler, right? Even
well, you got moisture and you got a lot of shade there.
Right.
And so anywhere you got.
But the worst part is the mosquitoes where you're like,
they'll carry you off, Joey.
So if you're looking to actually enjoy your property, if you're looking to get rid of these nasty mosquitoes, if you're looking for basic pest control needs, Pest Pro Services, they're the place to go. If you want to learn more about them, you can always go to ppsriverregion.com or just search Pest Pro Services on the Book of Faces, or you can just call them direct, 265-9990. That's 265-9990. When you want to know, call a pro, Pest Pro Services. And be sure to tell Ashley and that great team that Joey and Eddie, those fellows on the radio, sent you. You know, you asked earlier, isn't this just organized crime? Yes.
Yes.
Right. But we dress up in high ideals and we call it law and we call it self-government. When some folks just, use law as a means of forcing others to getting into what they want. It's a tale as old as time. We'll be right back.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Hi, this is Bo Goodson from the Goodson Group with your Real Estate Minute. Recently, I met with 3 different owners of homes who had the same problem. They wanted to sell their house quick and sell it as is for cash. All 3 people were approached by different investors that said they had cash for their home, signed contracts, only to find out they were not personally going to buy their homes, but to find a buyer willing to pay more than they offered and pocket the difference. It's called wholesaling. Offer a contract to buy a house at a certain price, up to price to other buyers, and pocket the difference. I urge you, don't fall for it. You want to sell your home quick, use a licensed professional realtor, as I have been for 48 years, keeping promises to get homes sold quick. For all the details, call Bo Goodson at the Goodson Group at 221-2883 or 551-0225. Call Bo Goodson at 221-2883.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/radio to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio. HIMS.com/RADIO.
Hello there, this is Dr. Sam, account executive with Blue Water Broadcasting. Why should you advertise with us? Frequency sells. The more ads you can get on the air, the better the chance it'll make an impact. Radio allows advertisers an inexpensive way to get their voice heard over and over again. Contact me, Dr. Sam, by going to bluewaterbroadcasting.com to find out more. Blue Water Broadcasting, local folks helping local business.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network, brought to you by Montgomery Paint and Body. From little fender benders to total body repair, MPB will fix it good as new, maybe better. For 4 decades, the Turner family has been getting you back on the road. Call 279-7325.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. Some new wrinkles in the forecast, including a heat advisory, which begins today and continues at least through Wednesday evening. And that happens with the heat index is 105 or higher. That is certainly the danger range. I've got us in the actual high temperatures in the upper 90s today and tomorrow. Lows tonight in the muggy mid-70s. Although we're generally dry today, some pop-up storms tomorrow, some of which could be strong, possibly severe. Big heat can produce big storms. By late in the week, we'll ease up on the heat just a tad, but not much. And there'll be random storms each day. From the AMS Broadcast Weather Conference in Boise, Rich Thomas for Blue Water Broadcasting.
Hey, this is Peaches and Clean, Powerful Carpet Cleaning. Do you have commercial property, offices, or rental units? Give us a call at Peaches and Clean. We can clean and restore your carpeting and bring them back to life. Give us a call at Peaches and Clean or peachesandclean.com.
There's no clean like Peaches and Clean.
The premier place the River Region turns to for news, weather, traffic, and opinion. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to the program. I'm your host, Joey Clark. Eddie Bader here in the studio, and it really is like it's a weird time of the year. Like, you are crazy busy.
Yeah, it's been great. I really like it, but it seems to happen every time I set up a vacation.
And it seems to be working in this market. If we could talk real estate for a second. Yeah. I mean, I saw a headline like nationally, there's this crazy over too much inventory.
Yeah, that's not here.
Okay, that's not here.
That's not here. And even a lot of that too much inventory, you got to look at what's out there at that price range. Like they'll say, hey, there's too much inventory. Well, that's because a lot of that inventory is overpriced. So
you're talking the big cities, you're talking something that's priced way too high.
DC. You got folks that are leaving. I mean, there are places like that, but Alabama's not one of them.
Well, and it's not just residential; it's commercial real estate as well.
Commercial's a big thing. That's all over. But I will say this, and I had pretty much given up on commercial real estate about a year or so ago. More investors are coming back around to commercial real estate.
Yeah. So this area, it doesn't seem like we're following the nationwide trend.
We never do.
Good.
We never do.
I am a little. I know it's your business. I know a lot of people in that business, but I do wonder. Are we going to head towards something like 2008 again?
Nah.
It won't be the same exact mistake, but
I don't think so because we don't have a lot of those same characters at play. The biggest thing right now, and it's just everybody, Madeline and I've talked about it too. If I've got a home and I want to move, okay, I want to expand, I'm getting a bigger family. Well, I've got a 3 point whatever interest rate. Well, new interest rates start in the 6s. So I already know I'm going to pay premium because I want newer house, better house.
Sure.
But now I've got to double my interest rate. And a lot of people go, you know what? Because of that interest rate, the house that I want, just not affordable. I'll just stay where I'm at.
Right.
And that's happening. I think that will change. As you see, Trump is big pushing. Yeah.
You see that Coach Tuberville every morning on his X account, they tweet or X or Twitter, whatever. He puts out, today's a good day to fire Jerome Powell. And he's been doing that for a week or two now. Every day you have Coach putting that out there.
That's just a weird relationship. I don't understand why your president can't hire and fire, but at the same time, I see why, because it's a control deal.
Yeah.
But actually, when you have this, which seems to be Jerome Powell not wanting to lower it for reasons most of us can't understand.
They shouldn't exist.
I'll go with that all day long.
Now, obviously, that would upend the entire world economy.
It would fix itself, though.
But I would get rid of the dual mandate.
It would fix itself.
Seriously, I'm tired of like this board of governors meets and the head of the Fed meets and they put out, well, we've decided that this is how we're going to meet our dual mandate, which is, low unemployment, but also low inflation. And the two often push and pull against one another.
But those people do not suffer the consequences.
Right.
That's what kills me.
One guy said, get it back to the original idea if it's a banker's bank. Like if there's a bank with liquidity trouble that you can borrow money, but you can go and get some extra juice to get you by.
Yeah.
But let the market set interest rates.
Market don't lie, my friend.
But we've been living in La La Land for so long. I don't know how that reckoning will go. Let's go to Donkey Lori. Hey, Lori.
Hey, Lori.
Hey guys, I just wanted to do a little blur. I went to Smokehouse Barbecue again just a little bit ago.
Yeah.
I've been there once for breakfast now,
Yes.
and it's like unbelievable. But I was too late for breakfast, and I just got to tell you, I got the chicken wrap, and they'll toss it in buffalo sauce for you.
Ooh.
And oh my God, y'all, I'm like hooked. This place, I'm telling you, if everybody goes there for the barbecue, but you haven't tried a the buffalo chicken wrap, it's like buffalo wings in a crispy tortilla. Oh my God.
That does sound good.
That's all I had to call for. I just wanted to tell you it's so good. And I'm going to be covered in buffalo sauce by the time I get to the shelter, but I don't care. That's why they make Thai sticks.
That's exactly right.
So good.
You're making me hungry.
Hope y'all aren't hungry now. Have a great day, guys.
Hey, thank
Appreciate
you,
it,
Lori.
Lori. Y'all get by Smokehouse Pit Barbecue right there in Main Street in Millbrook. And you don't have to, you can dine in. It's a great spot, great atmosphere, but you can get it real quick.
Yep.
Good to go.
Oh, I called it
Eat
in,
it on the
pick it
go.
up, go. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And she's right. When I got that barbecue sandwich, I put extra sauce on it. So,
where
I was going, there was sauce all over my shirt. But it was
Oh,
okay.
really? Yeah, it's fine.
It's okay.
I mean, it's kind of part of your uniform.
Well, I did. I met with a fellow fat boy, and his first question was, "Ooh, where'd you eat lunch?"
As much as like the national stuff has been, what a wild ride this has been. Just covering that one Alabama story, it kind of brings me down. I have to admit it.
Yeah.
It's like our government here really sucks.
We're
And
on-
maybe I just don't belong.
No.
Maybe I belong in Florida or Tennessee.
No, I think what you see and what a lot of people want is what we would consider progress, but we don't have that here. We got the good old boy network, and we want to keep the good old boy network.
It's just, it does.
But now I'm at the age
Annoy
now
me.
where, and I was like this in my 20s, where I would say politicians are too old. And I'm at that age again in life where, because these politicians are my age and older, they are a little bit too old and just out of touch.
Yeah. It's a shame.
That whole Bitcoin thing, out of touch.
Yeah.
Where's the state of Alabama on that? Why? You're telling me we don't have a couple bucks you could possibly invest in that because you're probably going to boom, but instead you're going
and
to.
it's not like the legislature, the one thing we've been asking them to do, which is empower the person who manages those funds to, if he thinks it's wise, it is in the fiduciary responsibility to the people of this state that if this is going to become the long-term store of value and the backbone of a new digital economy, you're seeing it fly through. To the head of the Fed, Jerome Powell, just said today that, they're now allowing banks
to get in on crypto. This Stablecoin Act, the Genius Act that passed, is a big effing deal. I've got Peter St. Onge describing that here in a second.
We just don't have to be the last at everything.
Right. We don't have to be. And being early to this party would be a good thing. And again, it's just empowering an official that the people elect to use his own professional discretion.
That's the whole reason we put him there.
But no, we can't. We can't jump in early to anything, apparently. Unless, you get a bunch of German immigrants that are brought over in secret, then you can really do amazing things with federal dollars, right?
Yep. Do what you want.
Oh, well. It's something I would like to see done. Speaking of that whole Bitcoin thing, here's Jerome Powell himself talking about being asked about Bitcoin at a congressional hearing here recently. And this is what I mean. The change is happening. Institutional adoption by some of the biggest players in the world is happening. Why is the state of Alabama at least not ready?
Not even close, buddy.
Let's listen in.
The Fed announced that reputational risk would no longer be a component in bank exams. I viewed that positively. I viewed reputational risk as often being a catch-all for political bias. I think it's positive to depoliticize bank exams.
The guy you're hearing talking is Representative Brian Steele, a Republican from Wisconsin.
Instead, focus on the core and measurable risks. Could you provide color as to whether or not any new or new information came to light that led to the decision of the Fed to remove that yesterday?
Tell us, Jerome Powell.
I'm not aware of any new information. No, we just think it's the right thing to do, and of course made an announcement on Monday under Governor Bowman's, Vice Chair Bowman's leadership.
Why would it not have been done previously if it's the right thing to do? I agree with you, it's the right thing to do. Why was it? Any timeline as to why that was done yesterday versus previously?
No, I think this is a problem that we came to understand as a problem over the course of the last couple of years, and began considering what's going on here. We're hearing a lot of reports of debanking and that sort of thing. And over the course of really 2024, came to the view that this was a serious problem that we need to address. And we've said that publicly. And now we're doing this, and so are the other agencies, by the way.
I appreciate you taking that action. I do agree that there were real political bias in some of those exams, in particular as it related to regulated entities engaged in the digital asset space. Let me shift.
And this wasn't just like people that were engaged in Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. This is also, I believe, Andrew Sorrell got caught up in this, where you own a gun store, you sell gold. These are anything that just wasn't popular for a particular reason,
right?
Because of reputational risk. Well, the banks probably shouldn't hold that if they want to keep that reputation or service people that are engaged in certain activities.
But why should that matter? Joey, if what you do is perfectly legitimate and
legal,
your banking partner make money off that and provide a good service to you.
And again,
what's
shouldn't the give and take of the market be what is the most dynamic measure of what's got a good reputation?
Yeah, but it's not.
Not the top-down dictates of the Federal Reserve Board?
Control, my friend.
Anyway, this keeps going.
Into the digital asset space, another action recently taken by the Fed, the Novel Activities Supervision Program was ended and withdrew several statements on digital asset related risks that deterred bank involvement in particular. You in the Fed and others at the Fed have spoken positively about the House and Senate work to regulate stablecoin in particular, a real opportunity to dollarize the globe and be a significant purchaser of U.S. Treasuries. Following that action by the Fed, have you seen an identifiable shift in banks or other regulated entities as it relates to engagement in the digital asset space?
I wouldn't be the one to be picking that up first, but what I do see is a very significant change in the tone, and it really does reflect evolving thinking and the evolving status of the crypto industry. And I would expect over time we'll see more activity.
How is the Fed evaluating and overseeing banks or other regulated entities that are in the digital assets or crypto space?
So our view is that banks get to decide who their customers are. That's not our decision. And so banks are free to provide banking services to the crypto industry, to crypto companies. And banks are also free to conduct crypto activities as long as they do so in a way that is, protective of safety and soundness.
Well, there you go. Again, just from like one of the top guys up there.
But he said something that kind of caught me. The banks are allowed to do business with who they want.
Yeah.
That's not true. If I owned a marijuana store, even though it's perfectly legitimate, most banks.
Oh, but this is the reputational risk thing. They just removed that. They're kind of making the point. You can now.
Yeah.
Right.
I'd like to see it tested.
Sure. I agree with you.
Yeah.
Well, that one might be because it still is technically illegal in Schedule 2 or no, Schedule 1.
For no reason. I mean, let's
Which
be
is
honest.
Crazy. Marijuana is Schedule 1 up there with the hardest drugs known to man.
Right.
It's just insane.
Right. I mean, it's something I don't get, but I understand not all everybody's priorities is on that. However,
right,
it should be an easy fix but you've got people that don't want it. I don't want you to go get some marijuana. I need you to take my pharmaceutical drugs I'm giving you. Joey.
But the point of playing something like that is to say the thought process of big institutional players, government and private sector, is changing around the larger cryptocurrency industry and Bitcoin itself. Why is Alabama not ready? Do you think I suggested, just because I love Bitcoin so much? No, it's like,
how much are you making off this, Joey? Right.
I'm a tiny fish in a huge ocean, a global
How much do you get paid to sell this, Joey? Nothing. You just honestly believe in it.
No, I think it would be a good way to have wealth for the people of the state. That's why I talk about this endlessly. And yet we are where we are.
Yeah, we are. 51st.
I love that Andrew Sorrell was talking to the Tennessee Valley folks about y'all have extra runoff.
Yeah.
Or
that's thinking outside the box, man.
Use that water you normally wouldn't use to create power to run these rigs to mine Bitcoin.
Why not?
Come on.
I mean, why not?
And people are like, it's so volatile. It's like, well, so is the stock market.
Dude, you find me something that's not volatile right now.
Yes.
Right now.
Again, but we are where we are. In a second, I'm going to play Peter St. Onge.
Peter.
And he's going to explain more of this stable coin thing.
All right.
And how exactly that works and what the ramifications might be. He's calling it the death of CBDCs, a central bank digital currency. That you can now have a digital dollar, but it's not being issued by
the central bank.
Right. The one thing they held off on is you can't collect interest on the digital dollar transactions you do. And that was clearly put in there to protect the big banks. Yeah. Because people are going to see, this model is so much better. Here's a practical example. You're a merchant. Mm-hmm. I mean, you sell people stuff and you're using certain merchant services and card services and all this other stuff.
Right.
It costs you 2% to 4% or whatever it is. And it's the whole economy is to the tune of hundreds of billions of dollars in cost just to make these digital payments that quick. With stablecoin, you just have a digital US dollar essentially. You have, what's the cost? 0%. Yeah. And also, you don't have to even go to your bank. It could be Walmart or Tesla starts being a stablecoin issuer, following these guidelines that are being passed, to where they don't even have to necessarily, on a lot of their digital transactions, deal with any banker. It's coming along, and it's just amazing that we seem unready here.
Well, a lot of people are looking for the failure, the big fail, and if we don't try it, you're never going to know. For one, and people are scared. People.
Yeah. Well, maybe with a new governor in place. Wonder what Coach thinks about this.
That's a good question, Joey.
I think he could convince people. He's good at the persuasion thing.
Yes, he's a pretty good motivator.
Let's go to line one. You're on there. Who's this?
Hola.
Hey, Eric.
What up, Eric?
What y'all doing?
Hanging in here. What you doing, bro?
Trying to get somebody to buy some services.
What type of services are you offering, my friend?
Well, you know what services I'm offering, and I'm not a paid sponsor, and I'm not going to take
I thought you were.
I'm not going to take advantage
to do some pressure washing or something for me for free or something like that.
You know, you can call me and tell me you need that kind of stuff, and I'll be more than willing to donate my services.
I know you would.
How much more do I got to pay you to take your shirt off?
I'll do that for free after the third bill.
That's part of the package, my friend.
Yeah, that's just with the weather these parts. Yeah.
We just call that Tuesday. Bring them on in, boys. Bring
That's
them on
right.
in.
What's on your mind, brother?
Well, not much. I'm just. That can wait. That's what I made voicemail for. This whole. I'm tired. I'm tired of all this, man. I'm tired. I'm tired of trying to figure out who is not lying to me because they all lie to me.
Yes, they do.
And it's exhausting. For every point that you have, somebody else has a counterpoint, and it's all about. It's not objective. It's subjective, and it's in the eye of the beholder and how they choose to shade it as to whether or not we learn about it, or if we learn the correct things about it, or if we're just learning some random BS that helps them. Make us feel patriotic and feel like we're doing the right thing, and we're not browning the crap out of brown and black people. I'm over it, man. I mean, I get that sometimes you have to smack somebody in the mouth to get them to listen to you. But I mean, come on, man. We're better than this. We're smarter than this. It's just not more profitable to be that way.
And also it's the triumph of politics over all the other great things that is America. America's amazing. And I think if you set them free and you don't have to make every decision through the political process, we'll do even more amazing things.
Yeah.
But right now, I think we're kind of bottlenecked, or there's a logjam because everything is some big political fight. And when you're in a knockout, drag-out fight, you following the rules, or are you doing whatever it takes to win?
Whatever it takes to win.
Dude, I will bite you, kick you, touch you. I don't
in the
care.
eye. Yep. How can I say
Wait. Say that again. You bite me?
What are you doing this weekend, buddy?
Say it a little slower.
Go camp?
You want to bite you, Joey? I'll give you a bite out of this big peach I got from Georgia over here. You're such a manly man.
Oh, God. Okay, we've taken it too far. And look, I've got to hit my top of the hour break, and Eddie's got to get out of here.
Yeah, I got to go. For a different reason.
I feel your pain. I feel your frustration, man.
All right, fellas. Adios.
See you, Eric.
You got to run?
Yeah. Got to go to work.
Good seeing you, man. Maybe see you tomorrow.
I hope to.
All right. Well, y'all stay tuned. Final hour coming up.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusada, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. The fragile ceasefire between Iran and Israel appears to be holding up for now. The deal initially faltered, and President Trump expressed frustration with both sides, saying that they've fought for so long and so hard they don't always know what they're doing. The president even critical of Israel. It was Iran who fired a missile after the deadline for that ceasefire. Then Israel was set to launch a retaliatory strike, but after the admonition from President Trump, they withdrew their planes, and the ceasefire is, for now, back in place. A potentially life-threatening heat wave hit the East Coast yesterday, the country's first significant heat wave of the year. Arriving over the weekend, it peaked on Monday in Washington, Baltimore, Philadelphia, and New York City. More hot weather is on the way. A Texas law promoting the administration's Make America Healthy Again agenda requires first-ever warning labels on certain foods like chips and candies. This is SRN News.
Hi, it's Mike Gallagher, host of the Mike Gallagher Show here. And when it comes to mortgages, I only trust the team that's helped me and my family more than once, Mike and Brian at Fellowship Home Loans. These guys are friends, believers. They built a company on biblical values that actually puts you first. In today's economy, with everything costing more, you need a lender who can help you make smart strategic moves when it comes to real estate. Need cash for home improvements? Thinking about a HELOC or a refi to consolidate debt? Well, Fellowship Home Loans can help you do it faster and for less. Why? Because they're a direct lender, not a broker. No middleman. No unnecessary fees. That means fewer hoops, less waiting, and real answers from real people who care. Whether you're buying, selling, refinancing, or just exploring your options, Fellowship Home Loans will tailor everything to your unique needs. Get started at fellowshiphomeloans.com/Mike G. fellowshiphomeloans.com/Mike G, or call 800-510-MIKE, 800-510-6453. Fellowship Home Loans, mortgage lending by the book.
Nationwide Mortgage Bankers, DBA Fellowship Home Loans, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS number 819.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Wiley Sanders Truck Lines, where over-the-road dump truck drivers are needed right now. Home twice a week and every weekend, must leave early on Sunday with Blue Cross Blue Shield. Call them now at 855-777-9785.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. Some new wrinkles in the forecast, including a heat advisory, which begins today and continues at least through Wednesday evening. And that happens with the heat index is 105 or higher. That is certainly the danger range. I've got us in the actual high temperatures in the upper 90s today and tomorrow. Lows tonight in the muggy mid-70s. Although we're generally dry today, some pop-up storms tomorrow, some of which could be strong, possibly severe. Big heat can produce big storms. By late in the week, we'll ease up on the heat just a tad, but not much. And there'll be random storms each day. From the AMS Broadcast Weather Conference in Boise, Rich Thomas for Blue Water Broadcasting.
ASE's 25 and 25 has you covered. For just $25 in closing costs, you can tap into your home's equity. No hidden fees, no headaches, just extra cash. Visit your local ASE Credit Union branch today. Federally insured by NCUA. NMLS 420259. Terms apply.
ASE Credit Union. Your life, your goals, your ASE.
ASE, an equal housing lender.
1819 News. U.S. Senator Katie Britt believes that the latest actions by President Trump regarding the countries of Iran and Israel will earn him the Nobel Peace Prize. Britt was on Fox News with Sean Hannity the night that Trump announced a ceasefire agreement between the two countries.
President Trump is going to win the Nobel Peace Prize, no doubt. President Trump understands what we need. We need a president who is unafraid to act and that stands firmly with the American citizens. That's what we saw today. And look, Democrats don't know what to say. I mean, their silence has never been louder, if you know what I mean. And I think it's because President Trump just keeps winning and they don't know what to do.
I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
Some of the greatest blessings is just having people that care about you. To have someone that's just going to love you and make you feel important. They encourage you to be in church. They encourage you to be in prayer. They encourage you to be in your Bible. Now it's a part of my day every day. My house parents planted seeds in me that you can see where those seeds have sprouted in my life and helped change my life.
Big Oak Ranch, a Christian home for children needing a chance.
The U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi has indicated a desire to visit Redstone Arsenal in Huntsville, Alabama, where various FBI and law enforcement facilities are located. Bondi was at a House subcommittee hearing with U.S. Congressman Dale Strong. That's where Congressman Strong asked Bondi about the restructuring of federal agencies and moving them out of D.C. into other states, including Alabama. Bondi recognized that there are many agencies from the Department of Justice that are already located at Redstone Arsenal and confirmed that she is supporting FBI Director Kash Patel and his plan to further move about 500 FBI personnel to the state. Bondi also promised to make a visit herself in the future. I'm Andrea Tice. For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
This part of the program brought to you by Alabama Home Mortgage. And there at Alabama Home Mortgage, Kim Williams and Madeline Cannon are ready to help you with buying that home. Now, it could be you're looking at the national headlines when it comes to the economy and you're wondering, what in the world am I going to do? Well, you're making your decision on the wrong basis. You don't need to be looking at national headlines, international headlines, especially all the stuff that's sensationalized and whatnot to get your attention. What you need to do is call the professionals there at Alabama Home Mortgage, Kim Williams, Madeline Cannon. They're ready to help you out. If it's your first time buying a home, they can walk you through that process from pre-approval all the way to closing day. And it's not about, say, the national climate. It's about what's right for you and your personal economy. And of course, they can also help you with a great refinance deal, especially if you're under a mountain of credit card debt or there's any other sort of debt you would like to restructure, let's say. Or it could be you want to reinvest in your property or you bring down monthly overhead costs as you get close to retirement, or maybe you're in retirement and you just want to have a little more breathing room. They can help you there at Alabama Home Mortgage with a great refi deal. So call them up today, at least get the conversation started. Maybe you're on the fence. At least talk to the professionals there. 567-4223. That's 567-4223. Or you can always apply online at myalabamahomemortgage.com. There is a difference in mortgage companies. Let Kim and Madeline prove that to you today. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender. This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
When you need a new door or window replaced, you want it done right. Someone who delivers expert craftsmanship every time. Experience is a must. Listen, Davis Door and Sash. They can show you new doors and windows that can help you lower your utility bills and boost energy efficiency. Davis Door and Sash, Alabama.com or call 334-288-6010. Davis Door and Sash, the perfect fit for your home.
Welcome to Eclectic Coins, Montgomery's largest coin dealer, specializing in buying and selling investment-grade gold and silver coins. And they have a large selection of rare coins and coins from around the world. Visit them at 543 Northeastern Boulevard or on the web at eclecticcoins.com. Eclectic Coins, where collectors who know go.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Welcome back. Final hour here of the program. We get some calls rolling in. Folks who have been patient through the top of the hour break. Let's go to Cameron. Hey, Cameron, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, Joey. You guys doing all right?
Yeah.
I got some good news for you.
Okay, go ahead.
Directly in line with what I've been listening to. I'm sitting in my beautiful backyard over here in Montgomery. Got my dog with me, as you know. And I'm loving what you're talking about. Can I comment to it real quick?
Of course.
This is first-hand knowledge, so you can ask me any question you want. I will not mention any names because I don't want to try and get free advertising. But I am already contacting your offices because I want you guys to lead my advertising campaign. Okay?
Okay.
There is a charity coming to Montgomery and other cities in the southeastern United States, which is going to accept funds. You know, watching billions of dollars being raised on political matters. I'm tired too. Watching the gentleman that raises money on the internet and then gave away a free, I forget what his name he goes by, but he gave away a free jet. People on the internet are donating just to see stuff. Are you familiar with that?
I guess. Not deeply, no.
So it's like I said, no names. I'm not looking for free advertising. You guys, I'll pay you guys when I get ready to advertise in the Montgomery area. It's going to be internet based, and we're going to raise funds. And the person that gives the funds can direct which projects it goes to.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that's interesting. I like it.
Everything's going to be about children. Every bit of it's going to be about children and elderly and veterans. Now that sounds like a big bite.
So if I'm giving money to your nonprofit, I can say I want you to allocate it towards XYZ.
Yes, sir. And we will have it themed and we will have it real, like boots on the ground projects.
Sure.
Does that make sense?
That makes a lot of sense.
Project.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Now, here's what I love what you were just saying about being tired. I am too, brother, and I want to do something about it. Here's the deal. Every dollar that is contributed to this will be under banking law. I bank with regional banks, local banks. Like the oldest bank in Alabama is an institution not far from where we're sitting. Bank of America, if they choose, they can even do investments in foreign projects. I think I've told you guys before, I was raised in Thailand.
Sure.
And that will all be handled by Bank of America due to anti-money laundering, you know?
Yeah.
Got to keep clean hand the way I was raised. But here's the deal. You'll like this because you were just talking about Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody that donates money to the charity, I'm not all about spending. You got to spend with consideration. They can allocate their contribution to Bitcoin or gold. I'm not interested in the stock market. And their money can sit there and pay them a dividend, and all we're going to do is borrow against it on their approval.
Well, it sounds like an interesting model, and get in touch with the team so we can actually hear more details follow through.
You bet. I'll be buying time.
Thank you, Cameron.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, if you're tired, sometimes you just go do it yourself. Let's go to James. Hey, James, how you doing?
Joey, I'm still trying to digest about 95% of what he just said.
Sure, but what did you call about?
What did I call about?
Yes.
Okay, what did I call about? I've mentioned this book on your program before, Our Southern Highlanders.
Mm-hmm.
And strangely enough, part of what Horace Gephardt examines in this book of, gosh, I'm not even sure how many pages it is, plus 500, I think, something in that neighborhood. He looks at, quote unquote, moonshining, what you and I would consider moonshining, which they referred to in that time and probably still do as blockading. And strangely enough, what is there in print from the early 1900s is relatable to what is going on now, as reported on your program, where they're shutting down this
the hemp industry.
One more time?
The hemp industry?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's comparable, very much so. Now, if you take that particular book, Our Southern Highlanders, and The Creature from Jekyll Island, and you read them both and synthesize the two, you have an interesting paradigm, an interesting dynamic, to where you're looking at fiat money and the idea of stepping on the toes of those small producers.
Yep.
And what I heard you say as I'm driving home from Montgomery is that these people, their materials basically hijacked. They go in and you pull out 60 pounds,
yeah,
and where you have $1,000 invested plus or minus in each pound, well, we're talking $60,000. Even you and I can do that math.
Yeah.
So somebody somewhere is causing this to be done because their profit margin is being intruded upon. In other words, too many people are making too much money off of this, henceforth the reaction. Now, understand, I'm not in favor of it because I think when we look at marijuana or any of the rest of that is somehow innocuous, I think we're in other words, making money off of a vice is not a good thing in my little simple mind. But
well, I've never argued it's innocuous, and there are plenty of things that can be a vice, especially done in excess. But I hear what you're laying down in terms of how, say, a cartel will come in. I've always been a fan of Murray Rothbard's understanding of the whole trust busting era. What, these companies thought, oh, we could just build these trusts and control the whole economy. What they found is everybody kept making side deals and trying to, look out for themselves, classic self-interest. And the only way you can really have a cartel that remains a cartel and fixed is you have a government. So the Federal Reserve in many ways was the cartelization of the banking system, out of prohibition of alcohol, and I guess now out of prohibition of marijuana or hemp or whatever you want to call it. You can't have a free market. You just can't have these small producers running around and doing their darn best. You got to have it controlled, and the people that control it will use the force of law in order to see their way through.
Of course, the people that have always made the money will be those that continue to make the bulk of that money.
Yeah.
It's just like, again, back to the book, and I realize I'm being esoteric here, but we're reading a piece that Gephardt includes in this book from a historian of the time. And basically what he was saying, that there was craft that went all the way to some member that had possibly the ear of the president even on this so-called blockading effort and the reining in of it.
Sure.
So, in other words, what I'm getting at is there were some payoffs. You leave me alone for X amount of money. And, of course, if you put a big enough penalty on there, then we don't have enough money because our product is not going to, in other words, garner enough in order to make it lucrative.
And this is most of what I think government is, at least in a money-making society like ours. And I've got a clip. You queued me up perfectly. RFK Jr. called out some congressman recently about, money talks. And the guy who goes into Congress is the biggest activist against big pharma and all this stuff. Now he's received $2-3 million. He loves pharma. They save lives.
Different, right?
Yeah, they save
well,
lives.
It's kind of like Greenspan and his stance on
Yep.
fiat money.
Yep.
Once we got in a position to make a difference, then our tune changed.
Exactly right.
Of course, who am I, Joey, to question anybody's motives or aspirations for that matter?
Well, I'll just say I know myself, and this is why I don't want power. I don't think I would be a saint. I'd imagine anybody who is a saint up in, especially Washington, D.C., or even over on Goat Hill, ends up ruined, if not dead.
Oh, and I heard what Joey, I heard what Eddie said earlier about what's not volatile. He should come and sit here around this kitchen table with me, and we'll watch it, and I will show him something that is not volatile.
But your emotions?
No. The clutter on the top of this kitchen table.
Oh,
it's been riding here for a while.
Stays where it is. Stays put.
Yes.
Well,
Joey,
appreciate it.
Have a nice afternoon.
You too. 272-9228. And here is that clip. And I love this, by the way. Somebody gets all butthurt about it, that he's just spitting facts about how not only one congressman changed his tune, but how a lot of this process works. And when you point out that this is how the process works, you're impugning a member of Congress. How dare you? How dare you? Let's listen into Bobby Kennedy.
And I'll address you, Congressman Pallone. 15 years ago, you and I met. You were at that time a champion for people who had suffered injuries from vaccines. You were very adamant about it. You were the leading member of Congress on that issue. Since then, you've accepted $2 million from pharmaceutical companies in contribution, more than any other member of this committee. And your enthusiasm for supporting the old ACIP committee, which was completely rife and pervasive with pharmaceutical conflicts, seems to be an outcome of those contributions.
Mr. Chairman,
Thank you.
Point of order. Point of order.
The chair recognizes
Point of order. The
Dr.
gentleman is impugning the reputation of a member of Congress.
Oh, no.
Stop the clock. Can you stop the clock for a second? Can you state the point of order?
Yeah. He was impugning Mr. Pallone's
Mr. Chairman, I didn't hear it. Did the
Oh,
gentleman?
you weren't paying attention. That's why.
Well, it's hard to pay attention here when we're not getting any responses.
Okay.
Wow. So the very guy Bobby Kennedy calls out, like, I didn't even hear it. I'm like, good God. Clowns. Bought and paid for clowns. Though, let's not be naive. The best people, and I'm using best loosely, those who are most skilled at the political game, they know how to, let's say, extort people with that power. Everybody likes to think of this game as, I put money in your pocket and you go do the thing that I want you to do. And I'm sure some of that happens. But often, say you're the head of a very powerful committee, especially something like the Appropriations Committee, or you just have any committee that might advance certain laws that affect the bottom line of given businesses. And a classic example was the fight over online piracy and copyright rules and regs. And of course, the big tech people didn't want any more new rules and regs on their, say, technology companies. But the movie industry out there in California, when it was still really important, they, of course, wanted new protections to stop this new technology from stealing their intellectual property. And so what do the politicians do? They just take money from one and then say, thank you, movie industry. Thank you, George Clooney. I'm on it now. I'm going to make sure that that latest film of yours isn't just shared far and wide on the internet, copied into oblivion. No. And it's not like they're on the Zuckerberg or the big tech folks either. What they do is say, we're considering this XYZ bill, this change, this new rule, this new regulation. It would be awfully nice if y'all in the tech sector and y'all in the movie industry showed up for this fundraiser we're having, about $10,000 a plate. And so it's not an explicit quid pro quo. And so often these people that are very skilled at the political game, the best of them, the best political players, they will play different interests with lots of money against one another. And you know what usually happens is the movie industry ponies up a bunch of money, the tech industry ponies up a bunch of money, and this happens with all sorts of other industries that are running against one another and fighting for their bottom line. They put up all that money because they want to be on the right side of that person with the power who's got that chairmanship. And then all of a sudden, nothing happens. And they'll send out an invitation, see you at next year's fundraiser. You try running it's one thing to be a mom and pop being raided by state police. But you try running a multi-billion dollar business in the United States and not have a lobbying firm. Oh, they will get their hooks in you one way or the other. So it's not just, money changes certain people's minds. Maybe it did change Congressman Pallone's mind. Oh, you've impugned the reputation of a member of Congress. I wish he'd do more than impugn it. But often, if the bra fits, wear it, or something like that. Now, shifting gears, I promise this is Peter St. Onge. He's going to break down, what do we mean by this latest stablecoin bill? What does it allow to be done? He's going to put it in fairly practical terms here. Let's listen in to Peter.
Rendering Wall Street obsolete, getting rid of the entire crony banking system.
Woo!
A new crypto bill dubbed the Genius Act is set to finally legalize a big chunk of the crypto industry called stablecoins. CNBC called the bill, quote, the first major legislative win for crypto. Treasury Secretary Bessent praised it as, quote, reinforcing dollar supremacy, which it does. Neither mentioned the most important part. Stable coins are the most direct threat to the crony banking system in 50 years.
I like that.
And they obliterate the case for a government-run crypto called a CBDC. So first, what is a stable coin? It's kind of crypto designed to maintain one-to-one value with a currency like the dollar. The tokens are backed by assets in a vault, so cash, treasuries, and gold. The stable coins don't go up or down like Bitcoin. Instead, if Bitcoin is gold you can email, a stable coin is a dollar you can email. So it doesn't replace Bitcoin or gold for savings. It does replace US dollars for buying coffee. Now, because stable coins use the same blockchain technology as Bitcoin, stable coins are much cheaper to use. They can be zero fee compared to 2.5% on credit card swipe fees, which cost Americans nearly $200 billion per year. Stablecoins are also much faster than banks. Like email, payments can be instant, while your bank can take days to process and ask you what the money is for.
Yep.
Now, fast and cheap matter because those were the features they were using to sell a CBDC, a government-run stablecoin that would snoop on your spending and potentially control or seize your money. The new bill instead legalizes private stablecoins while mandating they back the tokens with money in the vault. This allows companies like Amazon or Walmart to effectively issue their own fully backed digital versions of dollars. Now compare this to banks who are in the business of issuing digital versions of dollars, bank deposits, that are backed by nothing but Federal Reserve bailouts. This is cool because if Walmart can't fractional reserve your money, it could cripple the 3/4 of inflation that comes from banks printing money they don't have in the vault. Now, the bill could have been a lot better. It imposes the same so-called money laundering rules on stablecoins as banks, and it specifically bans paying interest on stablecoins, as in passing on the returns of vault money. That's because interest on stablecoins would have completely wiped out the crony banks. You'd have fully backed dollars paying interest. Still, on net, the bill is surprisingly anti-bank, legalizing the most important competing technology to banks in my lifetime. This is probably because the crypto lobby dumped a lot of money into this. In the last election, crypto donated over $100 million. Some estimates are up to $250 million, led by Coinbase and Ripple. Now that surpassed oil, gas, even pharma, plus another $18 million for Trump's inauguration, $5 million from Ripple alone. Now, that doesn't come close to the billions the financial system donates, but it was enough for a camel's nose under the tent. So as next brought to you by Unchained.com, the bill does not take effect until next year. We already see companies, including Walmart and Amazon, lining up to issue stablecoins that would zero out banking fees for the hundreds of billions of transactions they make. Even Elon could get in the game with his planned X money that would also bypass banks and their fees. Most important, crypto apparently has the political heft to go toe-to-toe with the crony fractional reserve banking system that misrules our republic. Banks dodge this one, but they need to get lucky every time. Crypto only needs to break it once. Okay, we'll be watching. See you next time.
Again, that's Peter St. Onge. Always appreciate his insights and material, and that's a great breakdown of what is going on. And again, my only request is not like I have all the answers. I certainly don't. I'm a jackass, a clown on the radio here. I just think that Alabama's best and brightest, where they exist, should be on top of this game. There are some people making moves, and I appreciate them to death. They're fantastic. Love y'all to death for pushing this behind the scenes and the efforts you're making. But sometimes I wonder about this place I call my home, the native soil, why it feels so foreign to all the ideas that I and many others here in this state might have. It's always pushback, it seems, because somebody's, well, doesn't want their gravy train upset. 272-9228. That's 334-272-9228. Trump fully supportive of this, really wants the House to move on it after the Senate passed it. So we'll keep watching. This part of the program brought to you by Montgomery Men's Health, and they're at Montgomery Men's Health. They're ready to help you fellas out if you are just not feeling yourself, if you're feeling run down and tired all the live long day, losing muscle mass, getting a little thicker, and not in a good way, like fat. But it's not like you're eating more. It's not like you're working out less. You're also exhausted. Even after you wake up in the morning, you laid your head on the pillow for 8 hours, but apparently you ain't getting good sleep. And you're never in the mood. You have no libido to speak of. Well, knowing whether you have low testosterone is huge in combating some of these issues. And the providers there at Montgomery Men's Health will conduct a testosterone-focused lab workup plus a consultation for only $99. And they have, if you do in fact have low T, they have low T treatments that can truly change men's lives, including treatments that will make you feel better, fellas, on the very same day. Men after treatment can experience higher energy, better gains in the gym, brother, better mental clarity, improved sleep patterns, a faster metabolism, and you usually even notice an increased libido. And you can actually book the same day that you call. That number, 440-3663, that's 440-3663. Or go to MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com to book your appointment today. Now, before I hit this break, I just want to read something to you. It's now the top story there at 1819news.com. I suspect this might get picked up nationally, written up by Craig Monger. How's it shaking, Craig? Now, I'm going to skip the headline and just read the story. Craig writes, as federal officials begin looking for potential threats to the United States after its actions in bombing Iran this week, the Department of Homeland Security announced on Tuesday that it arrested a Locust Fork man with an Islamic Republic of Iran Army identification card in a nationwide roundup. According to DHS, Immigrations and Customs Enforcement arrested Ribvar Karimi, or something like that, Ribvar Karimi, on Sunday in Blount County's Locust Fork. Karimi reportedly served as an Iranian army sniper from 2018 to 2021. At the time of his arrest, he was in possession of an Islamic Republic of Iran Army identification card. He entered the United States on a K-1 visa, which is reserved for aliens who are engaged to be married to American citizens in October 2024 under the Biden administration. Karimi never adjusted his status as required by law and is removable from the United States. He's currently in ICE custody where he'll remain pending removal proceedings. The arrest came in a nationwide effort by ICE and DHS officials as concerns heightened over a potential homeland attack as a reprisal for the United States entering the conflict between Israel and Iran earlier this week. In total, DHS boasted of arresting 11 Iranian nationals with criminal histories who had made some threatening statements. So again, that is the top story at 1819 News, written up by Craig Monger. ICE arrests Iranian sniper with an Islamic Republic of Iran Army identification card in North Alabama. You never know where these folks might be. We'll be right back.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Let's face it, what our customers say about our business is the most important advertising tool. Here at Adams Drugs, we love our customers. We're here with Al and Amy Steinecker, Adams Drugs customers. Amy, please tell us how easy it was to transfer your prescriptions to Adams Drugs in the big box store.
It was one of the easiest things I've ever done. I went into the pharmacy on Bond Road and spoke with the pharmacist and told him we had not been happy where we'd been and would love to transfer our prescriptions. And he said, I'll be happy to call them. And that was that. And now when I call, I just say I need to have a prescription filled. And it's just that simple.
Al, what has your customer service been like at Adams Drugs?
It's amazing. You walk in, you're not standing in a line. They speak to you, call you by name, and say, what do you need today, Al or Mr. Steinecker? It's wonderful. It doesn't get any better.
Please come into any Adams Drugs location and let us earn your business. Visit us at adamsdrugs.net for the location nearest you. Adams Drugs is your independently owned Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
Since 1966, Alabama Sheriff's Youth Ranches has been more than just a place to stay. It's been a place to belong. For children facing hardships through no fault of their own, our ranches provide more than shelter. We offer a warm home, a loving family, and a future filled with hope. With open arms, we welcome these young hearts, giving them the love, structure, and guidance they need to heal, grow, and thrive in a warm Christian environment. Together, we can give Alabama's children the chance they deserve, a chance to dream, to succeed, and to feel truly cherished. Every donation stays within Alabama, directly impacting the lives of the children who need it most. Join us in making a difference. Visit AlabamaSheriff'sYouthRanches.org. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and download our app from your app store. We'd be honored to have you as a part of our mission to lift up Alabama's youth. And remember this, it's easier to build boys and girls than to repair men and women.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network is brought to you by Earnest Financial.
If you're tired of losing your money in the stock market, call David Earnest, 334-279-7431. Earnest Financial, LLC.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. The extreme June heat continues. In fact, the heat advisory will be in effect until Wednesday evening with some dangerous heat and humidity. Boy, even the nights are muggy with lows in the mid-70s. I think we're back to the upper 90s tomorrow with the heat index 105 or higher and some pop-up storms. Sometimes big heat can produce big storms. Some could be strong, possibly severe. By late week, temperatures ease back just a little bit, but not much, and still some random storms each day. From the AMS Broadcast Conference in Boise, Rich Thomas for Blue Water Broadcasting.
At CB&S Bank, we've been meeting the needs of our customers since 1906. Need help setting up new business goals? Our line of commercial loans can help you achieve them. Go to cbsbank.com to find a location near you. All loans subject to credit approval, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
Trustworthy, accurate, immediate. Carrying your voice across the river region. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Welcome back. Let's go right to the phones and talk to Simpler Days. Hey, Simpler Days, how you doing?
Hey, doing pretty good. I'm sure the individual that was the ex-sniper there, the illegal, I'm sure he was just in North Alabama looking for a good place to go deer hunt.
Sure. I mean, it's pretty good eating.
Yeah, and I'm sure he probably worked at the Home Depot store, and he probably had a family. And, you know, we just never, ever learn that these folks are here. They're going to radicalize other people, and they're going to hurt us if we don't know who they are, where they are, and can keep an eye on them, just like someone we were released from prison, you know, that
yeah,
it's dangerous in the past. But
I mean, but who knows? Again, it was a K-1 visa. It's how he got into the country, reserved for aliens engaged to be married to American citizens. So maybe there's some like sordid love story here going on behind the scenes.
Well, there's and there's no telling how many people are here that came in on, that got a T visa or a U visa and just didn't go to court, and expired, and they're just running amok. But I want to draw a parallel to what you've been talking about earlier about the cannabis and like Debbie was saying, I just came back from Tennessee and Middle Tennessee, and if you went up there in the 70s, you could go into, or even in the 60s, you could go into souvenir shops, novelty stores, and you could buy a jar of what was labeled as moonshine. But it didn't have any alcohol in it, and it was just a novelty. But then the state of Tennessee and their alcohol folks, because they'd arrested up people for producing moonshine, put them in prison, put them in jail, the feds, the states, in the past. But now they realize that they could make a ton of money if they legalized it and sold it in the state liquor stores and in grocery stores and in novelty shops and put the amount of alcohol that was in it. So when you go up there now, it's just flooded with moonshine, white lightning, with alcohol content. If you go in the state store here in Alabama, any of the state stores, they have it also.
Oh, so, you can get some that tastes like apple pie.
Oh, yeah. But see, it's all about when they decide they want a piece of the pie, the little man can't have the pie until he lets them have the whole pie, and they slice his slice for him.
Well, and I got to tell the folks, like, I do respect the folks who, for religious reasons or cultural customs, like they're more teetotalers or they think it's morally wrong. You know what you just heard James say, this thing is a vice and we should be making money off vice. Nobody should. I hope those folks who really believe that stuff are wise to how they use y'all who are against any sort of vice as a battering ram to do these crony takeovers. They use the outrage of those who are teetotaling in order to get control of the very thing you're against and then make crap loads of money off of it. It's nuts.
Well, cigarettes and alcohol are vices. So
sure.
Federal government, states, they all make a ton of money off of it. Have a good day, Joey.
Appreciate it. Simpler days. 272-9228. That's 334-272-9228. Somebody asking me a little confused on the stable coins. When all these private companies come up with their own stable coins, can you spend like Walmart dollars with Amazon or Publix? No. Yeah. The coin, like if you want to do a digital US dollar, you're going to have to hold certain things in reserves that meet that standard. So yeah, like if the digital dollar would be the digital dollar and you could spend it anywhere like it's a dollar. The issuer has to meet certain standards of what they're holding in reserve to actually back these coins they issue. And we'll see how the game plays out. It could be X, like Elon's companies or Amazon or Walmart and Publix are big enough players that can just do it themselves because they're already sitting on ridiculous cash reserves. Apple certainly could pull something like that off with the amount of reserves they have. But it might very well be that I think the biggest company in there is maybe like Tether right now. It could be used by any sort of merchant. But the idea is that it would be just a digital dollar, would be transferable like any other dollar. You're just cutting out the banks as the middlemen or the credit card companies that are charging a lot higher fees than using certain stablecoin blockchains. Honestly, I admit I've not done a true deep dive. I'm more just stick to Bitcoin and that's it for me in terms of what I'm getting into. But I believe that is the idea that no, it's a digital dollar. It spends just like the dollar you might hold in your hand or the dollar that you have currently digitally on all the cards you use. And for folks worried that we're going to a full digital system, number one, we're already there pretty much. And so it's like, what kind of digital system are you going to have? And one that is backed by more Bitcoin and is going to introduce actual more control over your money than, say, if the government issues a virtual currency. Having these private stablecoin issues is a lot better than having the central bank run everything and run every freaking bank account, let's say, you might run up against. Of course, we'll be learning more about this. I'm sure the House of Representatives will get a bite at the apple. We'll continue to be watching that. As we calm down from the eventful weekend and everybody looking at the war and what might be happening, and folks are now mad. Some are mad that some of the biggest cheerleaders in the moment, who were once never Trumpers because Trump was not tough enough on war. I'm thinking of Mark Levin and Lindsey Graham. They're now, I think, a little peeved because Trump isn't going all the way. You can't just do one strike and back off. Like, we got to go full regime change here. Well, Senator Rand Paul joined Sloppy Steve Bannon. Let's listen into what Rand Paul had to say on this.
Graham is on the extreme war side or neoconservative side of things, and he always has been. I don't think the president has ever been there, and in my conversations with both of them present in a small group, the president has always sort of chided Graham for being too far out there on the limb of trying to intervene everywhere all the time and be involved in every war. And I don't think that's the president's natural inclination. I do appreciate that President Trump is now saying to Israel in fairly forceful words that they need to adhere to the ceasefire. I hope that will stick, and I hope the president will stick that this is all we're doing and no more. I still have a constitutional question with the way it was done, but I hope for the best. I mean, I don't want our country to be involved in another or mired down in another Middle East war. And I think Iran would put both Iraq and Afghanistan to shame in being such a large country. And there's no way U.S. troops could occupy it. There's no way Israel could occupy it in any reasonable fashion for any reasonable time. Militarily, we're incredibly superior. And really, the last week has shown that unmatched is our military, and Iran is nothing to stand up to it. But it's still an open question how they respond. Do they respond in a chastened way where they stop nuclear development, or do they respond in a headlong push towards the bomb? And I think that really is an unknown.
I think that's an unknown we can deal with, though, as opposed to a war full of more and more uncertainties and unknowns. This part of the program brought to you by, again, Josh and Leslie Ryder. They're at Dillon Rings. And at Dillon Rings, they are a full-service jewelry shop ready to help you out. I think you only got a few days left in that sale. They're doing 50% off on half of the store to celebrate Leslie Ryder's birthday. Get by there and at least wish her a happy birthday. See what they have in inventory, what's on sale at half off. Amazing selection there. And, of course, they can help you with custom design work. We just talked about that earlier in the show. The rough diamond bracelet that represents every year of a son's life, a son turning 27. Oh, really? We're going to do that now. We're going to have just some like big blow fest right outside the window. Y'all do this every few weeks. Is this going to be all summer? Yeah, okay, fine. Sorry. At Dillon Rings, they can do the custom design work. Go to Facebook to see their latest there. I can smell the grass and the gasoline. Seriously. But they can, of course, also do repair work. Say you have a favorite piece of jewelry that it looks like it's about to fall apart. Well, they can fix that for you. Maybe you have a favorite piece of jewelry that you wear every day, and it looks like you wear it every day. It's a little faded, a little smudged up, little scratches and stuff on it. Well, they can give it a spa treatment, make it shine and shimmer like it's brand new again. They also will buy old broken jewelry, gold, silver, platinum. They do appraisals. They can do watch repairs, battery replacement in a watch. They do it all. They are again, full service jewelry shop. So y'all get by Dillon Rings today. Just 119 Brown Springs Road. That's their location. That's just off Atlanta Highway, kind of where the old Fun Zone used to be, like the back end entrance to the AM complex off of Atlanta Highway there, right before Taylor Road. And be sure to tell Josh and Leslie that Joey, that fellow on the radio, sent you.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, But whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
Hey, it's Matt, your leaf filter trusted pro. Gutters are an often neglected part of the home. They're also one of the most important. Clogged, overflowing gutters can cause serious problems like foundation damage or basement flooding, which can cost thousands of dollars to fix. Let's face it, cleaning gutters yourself is not only a hassle, it can be dangerous. But when you get Leaf Filter, you'll never have to worry about cleaning clogged gutters again. Get started today by visiting leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free inspection. If you decide to move forward, we'll professionally clean, realign, and seal your gutters before installing our patented stainless steel micro mesh system. Leaf Filter keeps out everything but the water. And it's backed by a lifetime transferable no clogs warranty. So you're protected for good. We're in your neighborhood and ready to help. Visit Leaf Filter today for a free inspection and estimate, and you could save up to 30%. Visit leaffilter.com/radio. That's leaffilter.com/radio.
No one wants to wait on service for an overhead door. With 20 years in the industry, you now have access to the best with All Access Overhead Door. All Access Overhead Doors offers prompt professional service at affordable prices on all service and new garage doors for residential and commercial locations. All Access Overhead Door serves the river region and can take care of whatever you need when it comes to your overhead door. Remember, you have access to the best. All Access Overhead Door. Call and schedule an appointment today. 320-2440. And like them on Facebook. They sell the best and service the rest.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
All the headlines the mainstream media won't touch. Your News Talk station. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. So after a busy week of bombing, then having to play daddy and peacemaker and all this stuff, peacemaker that'll drop an F-bomb on national TV if need be. Even as President of the United States, Trump had to travel to the Netherlands. I saw a clip of him meeting with the king and queen of the Netherlands over there. That queen is lovely. Anyway, here is, I believe, the Secretary General of NATO, Mr. Rutte or something like that, singing Trump's praises, as what people have learned to do.
It will also be a massive achievement in making NATO fairer. For decades, the United States sought to get Europe to truly step up. Now, European allies and Canada will equalize their defense spending with the United States. So let me salute President Trump's long-standing leadership in calling for NATO to increase defense spending. Today, I am pleased to announce that NATO has already added an additional $1 trillion in defense spending over the past decade. Mr. President, dear Donald, that is thanks to you pushing us. And tomorrow we will build on that foundation and add trillions more in defense spending because we need to do this.
So, wasn't Trump the one who was going to break up NATO, though? He was going to break it all apart? Or was that more a threat to get people to actually do what they promise to do as part of being part of that security alliance? Now, I tried to get in touch with Ray Bowles, but he seems like he's busy today, which is always a great thing to hear about a sponsor. So if y'all are looking for some new flooring, any sort of resurfacing job, it could be you're looking for those brand new epoxy floors, really cool stuff. Maybe redo the garage or another part of the home, especially the exterior of the home, maybe a back patio, or maybe you're looking to redo the kitchen or the bathroom, ceramic tile in the countertops, just get a new shower that just looks kick butt, a lot easier to clean with that ceramic tile. Of course, they can lay down new carpet for you, luxury vinyl plank, traditional hardwood, new laminate products. They have it all there at Prattville Carpet. And so what you just need to do is call them up at 285-8117. It's just that simple. They'll come out and do a free in-home measurement. Then you pick out what you want to use as a product to resurface, and they'll get the job done. It really is that easy with Prattville Carpet. By the way, they are still looking for before and after photos. So maybe you're going to be a soon-to-be customer there at Prattville Carpet, or you have been one, a very happy customer in the past. If you have before and after photos of the work they do, that beautiful work they do, just get in touch with them, tag them on Facebook, or again, call them at 285-8117. And be sure when you call them up at 285-8117 to say, hey, I heard that Joey Clark guy on the radio talking about y'all. So what did we learn today? Well, I learned it was good to see Eddie. I learned that often the government is just organized crime, a gang of thieves writ large. This Aaliyah raid on hemp shops is just absurd. It's not even enforcing the new law. You're stealing people's money. You're stealing people's investment to make sure they are dead on the floor, financially speaking. It's just a wretched way of doing business. In fact, that's how government always seems to do you. Again, the money quote from today, President of the United States dropping the F-bomb on both Israel and Iran to finally end the 12-day war. Now you have both the Secretary of Defense and the Press Secretary denying reports that Iran nuclear facilities are intact. The IAEA chief saying, actually, Natanz was hit really, really hard. But that money quote from Trump is, we basically have two countries that have been fighting so long, they don't know what the F they're doing. Said that in front of God and everybody. And I think it was a way to say, put everybody in their place. Stop with the fighting. This is not the time. This is not the president that you're dealing with. I'm not weak. I'm not looking for all-out war. I'm looking for you to be a normal trading country. And I include that with my allies. It's about time we have a president that doesn't get us too embroiled in all this. For now, it seems it's holding. Thank God, truly. In fact, after the whole brouhaha of the last week or two, Tucker Carlson's only response to Trump getting out was, thank God. Tucker's right on that one. Of course, they still have the Democrats just lost in the wilderness. I don't know what they're going to do. The Trump administration moves at such a rapid speed, at a rapid pace, that it's hard to keep up with the latest thing you're supposed to be upset about. And honestly, I hope we're getting into a world where it's not so much about Republicans versus Democrats. It's more, what are just the good ideas? What are the most popular ideas that are overwhelmingly popular with the nation, and we pursue them for the good of the people? So often I think the Democrat versus Republican game is just a way for the same uniparty to pretend like there's division and robust debate while getting what they always wanted in the first place. A lot of us might have worried that's exactly what was happening when it looked like Trump was going to jump fully into the war, but you just take that strike, you get out of town, and then you make people make peace. I also love how cavalier at times Trump is about this stuff, saying China can now continue to purchase oil from Iran. It was my great honor to make this happen. Also, you have the Federal Reserve Chairman giving a hat tip, getting rid of the reputational risk standard that was put on the banks that was able to debank so many different industries, not just crypto, but the people in the gun industry and a few others. You would think if something's legal, then it should be, you should have access to banking services. Finally, that change seems to have come about. I think I would like to see another law with more teeth in it. didn't really cover this in detail, but the Fed chairman also saying the U.S. dollar will remain world's reserve currency, quote, for a very long time. Which there was some worry, especially after the outbreak of the war between Russia and Ukraine, as we cut Russia out of the SWIFT system, that BRICS was going to try to make a move to challenge that dollar supremacy, that reserve status. Well, honestly, those nations are such basket cases in some ways that I'm not sure they're ready to actually take on that fight. What will be the news tomorrow? I don't know. Honestly, I'm just looking forward to vacation at this point. But I'll be back tomorrow at noon. For the time being, y'all stay tuned. Happy Hour with Greg Beadell. He's next.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. U.S. Navy Gerald R. Ford aircraft, the USS Gerald R. Ford, is deployed to Europe right now. It may be redeployed to reinforce U.S. interests in the Middle East. That word today from U.S. Navy Commander Rear Admiral Paul Lanzalotta. He says the Navy remains focused on following through on President Trump's mission, which is essentially peace through strength. Earlier today, President Trump complained that both Israel and Iran had temporarily violated the new ceasefire